What is up, everybody? My name is Hector Flores, host of the Insert Name FC podcast, a member of the BellyUpSports Media Network. You can find us on all things podcasting, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fix from, you will find us there. We also offer a video version of this episode, which is available on BellyUp's YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, check out BellyUpSports, and that's where you will find us for the full video version of this podcast. Speaking of YouTube, we also have a YouTube channel, so these episodes, we normally break them down into shorter videos. So if you guys want to check that out, we are also there. So that's another avenue you can watch us. Now, the full video version of this podcast and the shorter videos are available on GolzTV, GOLZ.TV. You can find us there, and you can find me on there sometimes for some of their original programming on GolzTV at Insert Name FC. Follow us on all social media platforms at Insert Name FC on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And, episode 230. This episode is going to be a little bit different. Not really, but a little bit different because there wasn't much to talk about. Going through headlines, it was kind of dry. Kind of dry when it comes to the headline conversations. So, obviously we have a gimme for this week because we got to look at the U.S. men's national team at their friendlies against South Korea and Japan. Now that has been concluded, so we are going to talk about that. We're going to have Kelcey Coyne of Hilo Sports coming in to talk about that with me. So that leaves with what in the world is me and Ever going to talk about. So in this episode, it kind of is fitting because this Friday, September 19th, let me double check that again. Make sure I'm right. Yes. September 19th, this week, September 19th, Friday, is going to be the early access to EA Sports FC 26. And if you guys know anything about me and Edward, we do love video games. We do play video games. We're still children at heart in some sense. So we are going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about EA Sports FC, fitting for that. So we'll talk about a little bit about FC 26. I can promise you there's going to be some discussions of it, just like, I guess, in some level, our expectations of it. But honestly, I don't remember if we did. But talk about like how our connection was with EA Sports FC or FIFA. Talk about that. Talk about a lot of things about the video games, how it got us to where we are when it comes to fans. Talk about how we like to play, how we like to play this game. We know that online game is a big thing now, but it's just not our thing when it comes to FIFA and EA Sports. And we'll talk about that. We'll share our love and affection for this game that we have quite the abusive relationship with, but nonetheless, we still come back for more. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much going to be the episode. Is we're going to talk about EA Sports FC and then talk about the U.S. men's national team. No more international breaks. We're back to regular scheduled programming. So we are going to have players of the week for this episode. Give you guys some games to look forward to this weekend. And yeah, that's going to be this episode. It's going to be pretty, I can't say short because it's going to definitely be 2 hours long, but I think it's going to be an enjoyable episode. I think something a little different, especially when we're talking about video games, but I think it's still going to be a really good episode. So sit back, relax, and we're going to take a break and then go right into EA Sports FC 26 to some extent. Let me tell you guys about BellyUpSports. BellyUpSports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. BellyUpSports is the premier, not your average website. All right, guys. So this episode's gonna be there's no headlines. Like the headlines for this past week was I guess dry.
Pretty slow.
Yeah, pretty slow. I mean, besides just I guess talking about Lamine Yamal. Not look. The funniest thing to ever say for Hansi Flick is that you had to explain that like painkillers just wasn't going to be enough to get Lamine Yamal ready for game, for match day. Which I don't know about you. I think the last thing I need is to put Lamine Yamal on a painkiller addiction. So
Oh God. Yeah, that'd be bad as hell.
like when Hansi Flick's like, yeah, we try to put him as much painkillers as I was like, what? So that was the headline. That's the headline for this episode. Is
Damn.
me believing that it was a good idea that we didn't do that. So for the sake of Lamine, like on top of the party thing, I guess broke up. Everyone's in shock that an 18-year-old broke up with another 18-year-old within 2 weeks. Shocking.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's high school.
Yeah, pretty much. That's high school.
Like, oh no, I thought they were gonna make it.
Bro, no. Dude, no. Doesn't matter. The fame does not matter. Like it doesn't matter, no matter what. Dude, honestly, even then,
But celebrity relationships are just as worse. Like,
they're even worse. Like that's the thing. It's like
how many
you
celebrities are like divorced?
so many. And then it's funny, they get divorced, they get remarried to somebody else, and then they go back to the person they divorced. And then they somehow either
J
get try to get married or they make things
Lo,
work.
J
Oh
Lo,
God, J-Lo's the worst, dude.
J
I mean, I
J
love
Lo's
her.
the
I think
Thanos.
she's gorgeous, but but
I've learned I have developed a massive loss of respect to J Lo now.
oh yeah. Not
The
not I mean, kudos to the guys because I mean the guys, they get
when
to say I
when
tap J-Lo, but other than that,
When Ben Affleck has better Spanish than Jennifer Lopez.
oh that's
And
just sad.
and then the weird sandwich order. I'm not familiar with New York, because I'm not from New York. But I guess like going to the bodega, the corner store, or if you didn't know that's
Yeah,
what that.
yeah, I know.
When you go to the
I've
corner
seen
store,
Spider-Man. I've seen Spider-Man.
so when you go to the corner store, apparently like there's like you make sandwiches. They make sandwiches there for you, and you put in an order. Um, which sounds really cool when that's explained. But obviously they had like an interview with her where there was just like, "What's your favorite New York saying?" And she said, "Fuck you." I was like, "There's so many other sayings in New York. They would
Yeah,
be much cooler than just fuck you." Sorry for cussing, Kelcey, by the way. Um, yeah, that was an interesting whole thing.
little tidbit.
Yeah. Also, once again, I do not I didn't understand orange drink. Because orange drink means a lot of things. As a matter of fact, there is, in fact, me and Edward, speaking of people that went to an inner city school, there was, in
Yep,
fact, a drink called orange drink.
yep,
Didn't say juice, didn't say soda. It said drink.
yep.
That can mean a lot of things. It could also not be real. So that was yeah. So that was, and obviously that's like a long time ago. But I thought it was just hilarious to bring up since we were talking about Jennifer Lopez and failed marriages. Um, but her daughter, the one that she with Mark Anthony, that girl can sing. By the way, when I don't know if you ever got to see her perform. She would perform the Super Bowl halftime show, the one in Miami when it was like
Oh,
Shakira and J Lo.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, she sang. I was like, I mean, the girl's got great genetics. I mean, she got Mark Anthony and J Lo. I mean, say what you want about her singing, but I mean, great genetics. To have like your dad be one of the greatest salsa singers of all time, and
Yep.
your mom being a singer. That is pretty good genes to have on your side. The aging part, that could be kind of a gamble. That's a little Russian roulette right there, because Mark Anthony did not age well, but he still gets women. So I mean, good for him. Good for Mark Anthony. That dude is skinny.
That dude is skinny.
He is skinny.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
and
He don't need a body if you got the charisma, or as Fez would say, the charisma.
oh yeah, you're right. No, that dude's got swagger of all things. Also, once again, amazing singer. Anyways, but
Yep.
that's not what we're here to talk about. Like I said, there's like not much to talk about when it comes to headlines this week, and obviously in a little bit later on this episode, you're going to hear me and Kelcey talk about the U.S. men's national team. So something is coming up this week, Edward. September 19th will be the early access for EA Sports FC 26, or as many people still mistakenly say, FIFA, because EA Sports had for so long had the naming rights to FIFA. FIFA was supposed to create their own game. I think it was like with 2K Sports. I think they were supposed to. I
Yeah.
don't know when that's happening.
I don't think they even reached the contract.
No,
That's my
I
thing,
don't. I know that was the rumor was that they were gonna do it, but I think at this point it's just such a challenge when EA's just had the monopoly. Like, I mean, eFootball, you can.
man.
Who's really playing eFootball? I know it's free. That should tell you everything about eFootball. It's free, and I still don't play it. But and then I know a lot of there's I know there's a lot of guys that are big fans of Football Manager, so I'm
No,
not
football manager, football manager. See, here's the thing. Football manager, you don't really play it. You're literally just
no.
watching a sim or,
Yeah, it's like what's that Halo, that one Halo game, the one that you're not actually shooting.
Halo Wars.
Yeah, that one. Fuck that. Sorry for cussing, Kelcey. Yeah, that was just.
Well, that was a real-time strategy game.
I'm.
I guess, I mean, I guess
I
it plays
maybe
different than a sim.
maybe it's different. Yeah, I guess maybe I'm not. It's not. Maybe it's apples and oranges, but the concept is still there.
And it's
Um.
like, let's put it this way. It's kind of like playing Madden, and then you go and play the ESPN NFL draft, where you don't control the players. You're just
Oh, you're talking
watching the
about
simulation. Like,
NFL head coach. That was
yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
That
Perfect,
was that
perfect
was that was
example.
another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that game either. It was worth a shot. I mean, I'm not, I'm sure there was some. I know there's people that love those games, and I know Football Manager. There's a massive. As a matter of fact, there is a coach out there, the guy that doesn't have a license. That essentially that's how he learned to become a football
A
manager.
coach.
So
Yeah.
now he is now a football manager because of Football Manager. So,
Yeah.
um, little inception there, right there. But the reason why are we talking about EA Sports FC? Well, very fair point is it was a big part of many people's lives when it comes to watching this game. Like, this is how a lot of people became familiar with certain players, how it became familiar with certain clubs, certain leagues, how they were structured. Was through playing FIFA or EA Sports FC. That's just kind of how we. As a matter of fact, I mean, going back to, I guess, me and Edward's origins of how we became fans of the clubs that we are now today, it was because of FIFA. Like I said, me and Edward. Oh well, I'm not gonna speak for you, Edward, but obviously, you know, at
Now,
one point.
for me, I think what did it to where I was like super
Well,
overwhelmed in it was FIFA Street.
oh yeah, FIFA Street is one thing, but I'm saying for like clubs, the whole club aspect. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because, like, while me and I were probably more knowing of the international competition, obviously World Cups and Copa America, and I'm not gonna say Gold Cup, but those kind of competitions. Not even Euro. I don't even think I paid too much because Euro wasn't something that I think was accessible to us at the time. But obviously, me and Edward, we both love Brazil, and I think what was it, FIFA 2002, right? I think it was FIFA
Yeah, World
2002.
Cup. They had the FIFA 2002, and then they had
That
the
that
World Cup
that,
2002.
that was '06, I think.
No, they had for I think it was like for PlayStation 1 where they have FIFA 2002,
Oh yeah,
like
no,
the World
the
Cup,
Korea, yeah, Korea,
Korea, Japan. Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's when they
So
had the standalones. That's where you literally had almost every country in the world in
mhm.
the game, and then you could literally
I
make it
I
suit.
miss that. I miss that so much. That was
Yeah.
we'll get to more into that. But anyway, so that's how I learned about that. Once again, everybody knows like my goat as far as like international football is R9, Ronaldo. That was who I was watching. Him doing his thing, and obviously by the time I was playing FIFA, that's when I found out that Ronaldo El Fenomeno, not Cristiano Ronaldo El Fenomeno, he was playing for Real Madrid. So by then, I started. Obviously, then I was, and Edward could tell you because Edward was the one that pointed it out to me. And so by then, I was like looking at that Real Madrid team, and I was like, oh shoot, they have Zinedine Zidane. I know that guy, and that's kind of. And then I got to learn about guys like Iker Casillas, Raúl, and all the other icons of Roberto Carlos, like all the icons that came from that Real Madrid team,
The
and
Galacticos, basically.
the first Galacticos. So and Figo. And so obviously, once again, I know now that R9 at one point played for Barcelona. I know. I don't need people to keep repeating that to me. Every time I say that the reason why I became a Madridista was because of R9. I don't need multiple people to explain that to me. Stop mansplaining me. I know it. I get it. He played there. I didn't know he was playing there at the time. Maybe that would have been maybe if I was paying attention in the '90s, maybe I would have been a Barca fan. Who knows? But maybe everyone would have been a PSG fan. Who knows? Yeah, we're never gonna know. We
Well,
just
at that time, the PSG games weren't even available local. Like you had to have a
well,
cable package.
I'm saying based off of FIFA, like if
Oh,
you using FIFA logic, not so. I mean,
well, to be fair, I knew about Manchester United because they were like the highest rated club when you would play like FIFA 2001, like they were up there. Like they or
yeah,
FIFA 99, that was way back in the day, PS1 days.
yeah. No, I get that part, but yeah. So, like I said, me and Edward, FIFA, EA Sports FC has been very much a big part of our lives. Me and Edward are also very much into video games, and yeah. So sports games, like I mean, I don't think sports games is all in all the only games we play. I mean, me and Edward, we played, Call of Duty. We played
Guitar Hero.
Halo, Guitar Hero. What a time! Rock Band. I would say when it comes to shooting games, me and Edward were definitely like hooked on Gears of War.
Oh yeah.
That one to
And
me,
they and
most
they
fun.
brought it out now on PS5.
Yeah, I'm like so tempted. I am so tempted.
I'm gonna get it someday.
I
I
just
will.
I just don't
I
know.
want to play online, and I
I
was like,
just
man, I already know what's gonna end up happening. We're gonna end up
I just
suing
don't have
noobs.
I just don't have the heart to go through the whole passing of Dom. Like that's the only thing.
That was Gears
Gears
2,
two,
I believe.
Gears two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
No,
Gears two.
Gears 3, no. Yeah,
No,
Gears
no,
3, dude.
it was Gears two.
Gears 2 wasn't no, Gears 2 was the whole thing with his wife. That was hurtful. That was hurtful. Gears 3, I believe he was still in it because Mark Oh no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
Gears
right.
one, he saw his wife. Gears
Oh,
two.
it was Gears 2.
Oh,
It was
also.
Gears 2. Yeah. Gears 1 was legit. Mostly you were in the city. You didn't go underground. You were legit just going around the city fighting locusts. Gears 2 was where they were in the city defending it, but also you would go underground. That's where they introduced the most, or that's where you did more of the, you used the Hammer of Dawn a lot more than in the first Gears. I think you used it maybe like the one time when you were
Oh,
like,
no, 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 you're right. You're right. Gears three. It was Gears three.
yeah, the Gears 3, because Gears 4 is the one where it has the son of Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, there we go. Now everything's clicking again. But yeah, so yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm not ready to relive that scene. That was a very emotional scene in video game time. But anyways, we're talking about FIFA. So FIFA, I would definitely say it was the game to go to, especially like here. Okay, online's cool. I'm not trying to take it away from online, but there was just something about going to your boy's house and having a tournament.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Or even doing split screen on the story.
no, no, I'm not talking about like other games. I'm talking about this is specifically FIFA, EA Sports FC.
That's what I'm saying. Like you literally
Split
could
screen.
yeah, you literally could play the game in the same house, like in the same screen. You didn't have to
Yeah.
go online and match
Oh,
up.
yeah. That's what I was implying. You said split screen. That completely confused the fuck out of me. Sorry for cussing, Kelcey. All right. Yeah. So yeah, bring your boys over. Maybe. Well, what? Let's be honest. We all didn't have money. Maybe like a $5 buy-in. And then and you had to whatever team you were playing with. That's who you're playing with throughout the whole tournament. Or for my case, maybe the first round. But I wasn't very good. I was decent. I was okay. But yeah, so it was just something about it, just getting the boys together to play a FIFA tournament, and even at school, bro, like I would think that was like one of my favorite things about school was like when it was like near the end of the school year, all your assignments are done, you don't really have anything else to learn about, and then your teacher just says, "F it, bring out the TV," and like, hey, whoever brings their console tomorrow, it's like all cool, and you already know we're all gonna play FIFA, and just argue our way through it. But yeah, good times, man. Good times. Also fun in college. When I was at Texas Southern, I would go to like I guess like the school the college bar, Edward.
Yeah.
I would go to the bar and I guess you can rent out like the controller. You have to use your student ID and they'll give you like two controllers and you go. and obviously you also asked for like the game, and so there was a group of us just playing FIFA like between classes, and we did King of the Hill style, but we did it like maybe I think it was like 4 minute halves, and then if we had to go to extra time, we had to do golden goal, the golden goal rule.
Oh, dude, do you remember how we could do golden goal, but it's like, oh yeah, instead of it just being one single goal from the very beginning of the match, it's like we put up to like 10, I think 10 or 9 was the max. And it was like, yeah, all the way up to 10 goals. So it's like that would be the golden goal, would be whoever gets to 10 first. They need to bring that back. That was fun.
Yeah, man. It was something about just being with the boys, being with the lads, girls included. There were some gals that can play. There were some girls there that can play, but just being with your friends, just playing and like making fun of each other. Making fun of your guys' playing style, making fun of the guy that picks the obvious team that no one should be playing with, the overpowering team. But each year's FIFA, there was always that one team that was like, if you pick that team, I hate you. Kind of similar to like I guess like the guy that plays like NBA 2K and chooses the Golden State Warriors when they were just a dominant force. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, so like I never got made fun of because I always played with Arsenal. I knew not to play with Real Madrid because I knew it just wasn't fair. So I would play with like with Arsenal because that was depressing. We used to do rules too, I think, right? Then we like have some rules like you had to pick a team of like a certain number of stars. Um, yeah, good times, man. Good times.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
man, dude, it was awesome. There was moments where it was like we would play and it would be like you'd win one, I'd win one, and then certain days we'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get my revenge. And then 2 days later I'd be like going to your house, and then another day it was funny because you could technically be like we'd play home and away. You know what I mean?
home and road
Yeah,
fixtures.
yeah.
You were scummy if you gave someone the terrible controller, but that was home field advantage. So like,
I remember that crap. Jesus. I still remember like I had to buy my own controller, save up all my money, buy a controller just so I could feel like I was playing normal.
yeah, because the funniest one was the one guy that had FIFA, but it was on the GameCube. So like the controls were so different.
They were so they were
or
so wonky. The only thing I
or
really
on
liked was the
the
right trigger.
the Wii was different. The Wii was weird. With FIFA on a Wii.
I had never played FIFA on the Wii. Because it was like, oh, you move this, the wand.
It,
If you want to play regular, it was like you would just press
I,
the padding and then the two
yeah,
buttons. It literally was two buttons. I was just like, the hell is this?
I was like, just let me go get the GameCube controller. So,
Yeah,
let
pretty much.
me get the GameCube controller. But yeah, so but yeah, FIFA, and it's funny because there's a lot of guys that don't really watch soccer or football, but they play FIFA. Like the a lot of like I remember obviously I worked for the Houston at one point. I worked for the Houston Rockets, and some of the guys will talk about playing FIFA. I mean, we had one guy, obviously Clint Capella. He's from Switzerland, and he loves football, and he actually plays FIFA. So he was a cool dude. He was really into FIFA. I remember one time me and him were waiting for something, so we were in the back playing FIFA. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, man, FIFA is just a way to get people together, man. It's just a great experience, and once again, it teaches you a lot just because of like, especially if like you don't know much about the clubs, you kind of identify yourself with a certain team in that process. I mean, for instance, that's how I became a Madrista was through FIFA. Was obviously because one of my favorite player was playing for for that team, and so that's when I learned more about that team, and I noticed there's a lot of really good players on that team. So I don't know if that's the same thing for you, Edward, but that's
I
kind
mean,
of
that's the thing. Remember, Ronaldinho was the one I would always see, and I started remember FIFA Street. Later on in the years, I played that more. Then I started playing regular FIFA, and then that's when Ronaldinho was known as the Joga Bonito, everything like the Brazilian national team back in '02. I started watching them more, and then of course, watching Ronaldinho do his dribbles, do the snake, the elastico, the crossbar challenge. Whenever he got his new boots. where he was just hitting the crossbar, came back to him, he would catch it with his chest, or he would stop it, and then he'd still not drop the ball. And then I think it was like 3 or 4 times he hit the pole, it came back, he just kept dribbling, he just kept juggling the ball, and then he finally was like, let it go. And I was just like, wow. I was like, this dude is legit. Like that's when I first started following Barcelona, and I was like, yeah, let me see. And that's when I was like, Deco was in there, Xavi Hernandez was barely coming up, Iniesta was barely coming up. They had Gili, they had Larsson, Eto'o, defensive Carles Puyol. I was like, they had Diego Milito. I was like, man, dude. And then they had Victor Valdez when he was like first starting out. Dude had no buzz cut whatsoever. He had a full head of hair. So yeah, like
Man,
it
I
was, and
remember,
then that's when
I
I was like, man, I
remember,
was like, shit.
I remember Pinto only because this dude had his hair braided.
Yeah,
Um, what a,
Pinto was like he was a colorful character. Like he had the hair braid, but he had the goatee. He
hmm
looked like to me, he reminded me a lot of like a kind of like a Fu Manchu kind of stuff.
he looked like a guy that should probably own like a smoke shop. Uh, that's the vibe I got
Yeah,
from Pinto.
yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah. So I mean, the initial stages for FIFA, and obviously, like or initially, I would say we just played like kickoff. We didn't really play like seasons or anything like that. But I think as we got older, we got into career mode, and I think that that's where I've stayed very much put. Like I'll play Ultimate Team, like I'll not the online Ultimate Team, but like don't.
The little where you do like a four squad or like a four match thing, and it's like, okay, come back next week to face your next opponent or something.
Oh, squad battles. Yes, squad
Yeah,
battles. But actually, you can refresh it and then play another four.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
technically, it's like people who built their squad,
yeah. So
and
you'll
they'll
play
play
against
to a certain difficulty.
yeah. So you'll play a certain person's team. Like that's their roster. You just didn't have to play them because the only thing, the thing I don't like about playing online, you have the guys that like rage quit. You have the people that have terrible Wi-Fi. And so it like it.
That's the
To,
excuse. Terrible Wi-Fi. I feel like they just disconnected right off in there because they were losing, and then just
it,
yeah.
to me, there's just it's not like, and then once again, it's online, so I don't like maybe I have my headphones on. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do, and like so you can't really trash. And then also like there's a good chance you don't speak the same language as the person. So like yeah, like I mean. It could just like not be like I didn't find online to be very much fun.
Yeah.
Unless we're playing like pro club.
Oh, yeah, we're playing. Then when they introduced Pro Cup, that was fun.
Pro Club
The
was fun. And you create a player. I eventually developed at an age where I was like I am not creating myself anymore. So instead I would create like random people. And one time, me and Edward were in a pro club with these other guys that we used to play with, but now we just play pro club with. I created Lonzo Ball.
Oh yeah.
So I created a 6 foot, I think it was a 6'4", 6'6", somewhere around there, guy. And initially everyone thought I was an idiot for doing that. And probably I was a little bit of an idiot. But, Mikey realized
Oh yeah.
this dude's like, Hector just created a 6'6" character. All I have to do is just
Stand in front of goal.
yeah, like all I need Hector to do is just stand in front of goal, and he can easily head the ball in, which we scored a lot of goals because of that.
Just corner kicks. Corner kicks was basically the main for your character.
So yeah, and what's funny was one day you guys weren't available, so I just decided to hop on a random game. I completely forgot that I was Lonzo Ball, by the way. But apparently, I guess the guys I was playing with, their passing was like not as good, so I was essentially the corner kick taker.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're the corner kick taker, you can switch out to another player.
Oh yeah.
And so I had a headset on, and I was like, "Hey, so and so, are you good at doing corners?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "All right, bet." And so I switched with him, and at first he had no idea what I was doing until he saw me just standing amongst.
Yeah. Amongst everybody, towering over everybody, and then that's when everybody was like,
Yeah,
"Damn."
Lonzo Ball was a set piece threat. Am I implying that basketball players should be playing football? No. I don't know if you've like watched like TikTok or something. My algorithm is so weird, but the algorithm I've been getting is like I guess there's like these guys. Everyone wants to do these stupid like debate videos where you have one guy that has a different opinion amongst everybody else, and so like I don't know why that's a thing. I think I blame. I don't want to say the person's name because that's going to be very controversial when I say that. But I think all this you initially started because of political arguments. But anyways, so now people are doing it off of like sports fandom, and they recently I think it was like soccer fan versus basketball fan, like 10 basketball fans. So all these basketball fans were trying to argue about why basketball is a harder sport than soccer, which I think we can all agree anything considered like top level of some sort of athletic sport is very difficult. Like to become professional at anything, like even like badminton, like that takes skill to be considered professional at it. That you have to
Trying
be
to hit a
really
freaking ball with a small ass paddle, and the ball's like the size of a freaking
like
egg.
yes, can anyone play like same thing with basketball, like anyone can play basketball, anyone can play soccer, but to be professional, like any sport regardless, like there's some level of respect given because you have to be really good. Like it's like
Yeah,
like that's why I don't try to brush off any sport like golf. I can't I don't have the patience to play golf, and those guys clearly do that play professionally, and they get paid very well to be patient.
hmm
So like I don't have that kind of patience. Also, if and also in soccer, obviously I can't be a professional soccer player. I do not have the dietary discipline to
this dude.
the dietary discipline to do so. But and even then, I was not a very good player. Like there's a reason why this podcast exists. Like you think if I was good
I remember
at
your Wayne Rooney toe poke shot.
yeah.
That dude, those kicks were crazy. Like I remember that. It was like so Hector has a really, really strong kick. The thing is, at the time, he hadn't mastered a hit with the knuckle. He hadn't mastered a hit with the inside of his foot. This dude literally would just toe poke the crap out of it. Thing would come flying at you, and you didn't know where it was going because anybody knows when you toe poke the ball, it has a strange. Sometimes it'll like move a little bit to the left, come back to the right, kind of, or it goes up, dips, or it just goes straight up, right up to your face. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not standing in front of those kicks. It was like we called it the Rooney shot. That was Hector's Rooney shot, and it freaking dude could shoot it from far out. But because of the toe poke, you don't know where it was going. It was going out or if it was going in. It was a 50-50 chance. But it was like if anybody tried to stop it, they'd be like, damn, like they would hurt their hand because Hector's freaking shot was just like crazy. I don't know, like just crazy. Like even me, when I was like, all right, I'm gonna be goalie, and I told him you gotta shoot all the way from over there. Still shot it, and I was like, God damn! I was like, I was stopping. I was like, God, Lee. I was like, hurts my hand, my wrist, my fingers, because it was just toe poke, and especially because it's not like he would just stay behind the ball and take one step and kick. No, this dude was like take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps and then come in and then little steps and then boom becomes a toe poke. And so it was like he wanted to shoot the crap out of it. And then me, my kicks were never power shots, but it all has the massive curl where it was like if the goalie wasn't ready for the curl, it was like it would stop. They would stop it, but it would get out of their hands, either go in or it would just kind of stay in front of them because it was like too much curl in my power in my shot. So yeah, the way and yeah, hey, I still remember Hector's. He'd be like, "Ah, damn it!" Like, yeah, here comes Hector with his freaking toe shot. Even playing after school, you know?
I was very much a defender.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. He was like,
Like
okay,
I
he,
shot like a defender.
yeah. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
I mean, yes, eventually I played right back, but I never developed like the actual finesse to be like a good shot taker. Like don't ask me to take a free kick unless it's like from like our defensive side. Like I'll do the free kick from there because
Oh
I'll
yeah.
just I'll and in my defense I have learned to send the ball up pretty well without using my toe. I just want that to be
Oh yeah. Yeah. He managed to do that and everything. He still has the power.
I
He still
really,
has that power kick.
I did impress your jobs team.
Oh yeah.
That one game we played when I like so. If you guys don't remember, me and Edward had like a indoor soccer team.
Well, it wasn't my jobs team. It was Miguel's team.
No,
Miguel's jobs.
the other one, the guys from Toyota.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay.
I played one game because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
you asked me if
Yeah,
I
I
could
asked
play,
if yeah, you could yeah, if you could sub. Yeah, that's right.
and
That's right.
so
That's right.
I remember like I came in and I had the ball. Nobody was open in the midfield, and I saw this one dude. I'm terrible. I feel well. One, I didn't bother to learn anybody's name, but so bad part on my part. But there was this one little dude that was on the wing, and he was making a run. And I think me and him made eye contact, and I was like, all right. I gave him like a look, like you go over there, and I just sent it. And over there, they like to send the ball up and not hit the top netting is pretty impressive. And even I was impressed that I didn't hit that netting because the netting was pretty low. It's like
Yeah.
it's like hanging fruit, so it's pretty easy to hit if you give it a good arch. So I sent it just perfectly enough, and it landed on his foot, by the way, which never again is that gonna happen. So like,
It'll happen. It'll happen. It's just practice, man. Practice,
but it
practice.
was just so funny because it's like I remember doing that. It led to nothing. I don't even think it led to a goal. But it like I remember as soon as I did that. I mean, I think I played like a few more minutes and then I came back. I came out to rest. Obviously indoor you can take multiple. You can go in and out of the game. And I remember like one of the guys from Edward's job was like, bro, you're good. And I was like, I'm not. I'm so not.
He's like, oh, he's like, yeah, okay, thanks. Like that was his reaction. It's like, okay, thanks.
But it was just so funny because he was like, hey man, yeah, if you're ever available, come on in on our games. I was like, sure. He's like, yeah, this dude's really good. I was like, I'm not good. But to
Speak
be
volumes.
at that time, like I remember we played a few more games at that point because I remember when we first started playing indoor, I could give you like one play and I'm going right to the bench.
Well, the thing is, it's like you do one pass and then that was it, and it's like, all right, cool, like whatever. You weren't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give me the ball again. You were just like one pass. You were like, all right, cool, I got it on defense. That's good. That's my job. And then but then of course, come
Well,
rushing back, you stop the ball, and you're like, all right,
I
let me
would be a
just go
center
ahead.
back, and then for some reason Nelson kept putting me in the midfield, and yeah, and obviously I would have like good moments. I would find my opening. I would somehow get the ball to Yob. That was literally my strategy. Was like, F it, Yob's out there somewhere. And I remember getting the ball to Yob, and obviously I also had to run to find Yob, and so when I found him, it took a lot of once again, I'm not this is before I was doing a 5K, so like I very much was like. And I remember
Gasping for air.
looking at Miguel, and I'm like, "All right, switch."
And he goes like, no, 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 you're doing good. You're doing good. Stay in. And you're just like, but I can't breathe.
I cannot breathe. I needed water.
Yeah.
And of all games, that was the game that my sister came with my nieces, and not Emma. Heidi was like, "Theo, you're really out of shape." I was like, "Oh, you don't say. You don't say."
You're like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
The best part was that pass led to a goal.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, yeah, but and I remember because she was trying to, because she was comparing me to Edwin, and obviously Edwin plays at least more than I do. And so I was just like, you know what? But does he have a stat category right now?
Does he have an assist?
Didn't think so. Also, the all-time moment was that accidental goal I scored.
Oh God, yeah. Everybody was like, dude, how did you do that? He's like, I don't know.
Y'all passed me the ball for once.
Yeah, he passed you the ball, but I think it was like you were trying to receive it, and what happened is I think you
Oh no,
stretched out your leg.
shot it. I shot it.
Oh, you shot it? Okay.
No, it was a shot. It was just a really awkward shot. Like
It was.
because I was like, when I thought Yob was gonna take a shot, and I see the ball coming my way, and I was like, uh-oh. I was in no position. I was like, like how Eric was saying that I need to do like a certain form to like kick the ball. I was like, all right, well, I'm about to look like a pinball, like the little the little paddles for the pinball machine. That's essentially, that's essentially what I did because I basically just deflected whatever Yob gave me. I didn't stop the ball. I just went right in, and apparently that was the goal of the game. Even though I think we were winning like like 10-1.
Yeah.
So it
But it
was
was like we were not expecting that at all, and it's funny because that's why I thought you were just trying to stop it or something. The thing is, the goalie wasn't expecting it either, so he just kind of stayed in place. He didn't even
it,
he just kind of stayed there, and he thought it was going out. But the way the trajectory of the ball, the way
it
it
was
went, I
going
don't know.
so
I
it
can't
went
even
so
explain it.
slow. It was
Yeah,
going
that's what I'm
so slow.
saying.
It was
So
like like
it was
you didn't even need to put it on slow motion. It was
it was slow motion enough.
Oh man. All right. But anyway, so EA Sports FC is coming out this week. At least early access is coming out this week, September 19th. Worldwide release will be next week, but obviously I'm sure most people got the pre-order. So I'm sure everyone spent also $200 to get whatever edition
Oh, the Zlatan Ibrahimovic edition.
or whatever. What's the point of having a cover athlete now? Like
The
most of
thing
the,
is, look,
most
a
of these
cover
have like,
athlete, it's more of a legend now. Like I'm gonna
but
be
like,
straight up with you. It's
but
a
like,
legend.
but
Zlatan is Zlatan, but
but
still,
there's no
like
cover. Like most of these games now are like we're gonna like lose CDs. Like CDs are gonna become, well, I mean they are obsolete at this point, but like
Blu-rays, like Blu-rays.
but even that's becoming obsolete. Everything's not, you can just stream it. Like I have Rocky and instead I just watch it on Hulu. So like I don't have a Blu-ray player, by the way.
The
So
PS5 is a Blu-ray player.
I have the digital one. I don't have the.
Oh, you can actually add it. I think it's like $80 to add
Oh
the
goody.
Blu-ray.
Oh, what a deal! Like, $80 for. I'm,
I
I'm,
mean, if you think about it, you can get a digital, and then you add that on, you'd be paying less than buying the full regular physical edition, and it'll be the same amount of
I don't know, man. I
terabytes.
think at this rate, I'd just rather buy like an extended memory card.
You can just
So
buy I think it's like a Seagate. I think it's a Seagate or it's a,
like a non Sony product, like but it'll do the same
dude,
job.
it's all non-Sony. Like the hard drive itself, I believe is a Seagate.
Mm.
Yeah. Like it's either a Seagate or
Well,
not a
anyway,
Razer.
the point of it was: is there even a point to have a cover athlete? Because there's like most of these games are now there. People are just buying the digital version that like automatic. And also, what's the point of having the CD if you still have to download the game through the C? Like, I honestly, that's one of the things I can't like. Sometimes I just miss like just having like a PlayStation 3 where you just like put the
Well,
slide.
technically it's the same thing. Like PlayStation 3, that's when they introduced the whole, oh, you gotta put the disc in, and when you put the disc in, okay, installing files,
No,
installing
that was
this.
PS4. That was
Ah,
PS4.
you sure? Because
Yeah.
I would have to do updates on
Mm-mm.
the game.
No, I mean there was always updates on the game, especially because it was online. But that wasn't no, that was not an issue with the PS3. You just put the CD in and just play. Like I said, there would be updates, but that was like just because of you being online. But like yeah, it was
Mm,
yeah. But I remember because before I got a PS4, I had an Xbox One, and that was like super annoying, especially. So I remember getting rid of the Xbox One and I got the PS4 mainly because Edward had a PS4 and I kind of preferred playing with Edward.
yeah,
So especially online, that's the only person I play online with.
yeah.
Um, and so I
What
was
did we
just
play besides FIFA? What did we play online? I want to say we played Call of Duty.
Fortnite, Call of Duty.
Oh
You
yeah,
try to get me into Rainbow Six Siege. That didn't work out.
yeah.
Yeah, basically like, but yeah, Fortnite we played. You tried to get me to get that horror game, and I was like, no.
The horror game, horror game, horror game. I'm trying to think. Oh, Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, that game. You were like, dude, get the game. I was like, why would I want to be traumatized? Especially because like there'd be times where I'm not even playing. Like it'll be him and someone else playing online, playing that game, and I
And
just
he'd
hear
get jump scare.
and yeah, like I was like, dude, I'm not even playing this stupid fucking game. Sorry for cousin Kelsey. Like I wasn't even playing this stupid game, and I'm over here freaking out. I think you could get like Jason Voorhees or something like that at one point. It was like an add-on to the game. I
No,
don't know.
Michael Myers. You could get Michael Myers, the guy from Scream. You could actually get not Jigsaw, but the
Wait,
pig girl from the movie.
Michael Myers from
Um,
like Halloween?
yeah, and you actually play in his neighborhood.
I thought it was
And
Jason.
Freddy Krueger.
I thought Jason Voorhees was it.
Uh, no, no, he's not part of that one. Because the thing is, what happened was
Wow.
Jason Voorhees he has his own game, literally Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's what I'm
So,
thinking of. Okay.
so the one that I'm talking about is Dead by Daylight, where you get the downloadable characters and stuff like that. You buy the DLC, and
Yeah,
yeah,
so everyone was trying to get me to buy that game, and like I remember I was like, so what's the point of the game? And when he explained it to me, I was like, yeah, no.
you got to
So
power up the generators and not get killed by the killer. You get 3 shots in one hit. If you get hooked 3 times, you're automatically dead. But you do get revived. You get med kits and this and this and this. He only heard, oh, you get chased by the killer. And he's like, no, I'm good. And I was like, but dude, like, it's not just by yourself. You get to play with so and so. You get to play with this.
one of
And
the
he's like, no, no. He's like, no, I'm fine. He's
one
like, I'm
of
fine.
one of the all like I like Resident Evil. Like everyone knows I like Resident Evil. I'll play that one, but that I don't find it to be scary. But the funniest game I ever played that was supposed to be horror genre was Clock Tower. You don't have a weapon. Your only weapon is holy water.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
which I really wish I could say I'm making this up. I'm not. It was a game.
Oh,
Someone
no.
someone was like, yes, to this idea. Anyway, coming back to EA Sports. So the funny thing is, like, I think many people have the fair question, like, don't you guys complain a lot about this game? You're right. So why
A
buy
lot
it?
of glitches and everything like that. To this day, it's been years.
We're we're in
To
an
this
abusive relationship with
day,
this game.
look, to this day, and I use this like this, I emphasize this so much because we call it on Sunday League. We go ahead and call it on we call it on indoor. We call it in the majors, like we in EPL in La Liga. To this day, this game has no handball. No handball call.
Oh no, you can have the handball, but then puts it on the worst, dumbest possible opportunities that can almost cost a game. So,
Well, like
or
it doesn't come like,
or I think they turned it. They probably
dude, I've never
they
called
had
it's
it
never
one year. They did have handball, and I hated it because it was always at a crucial moment where I have like a 1 goal lead or it's 0-0, and like the draw like helps me advance on to the next round of the Champions League, and all of a sudden handball, penalty kick, and now the game's tied. And I'm going to extra.
see, not for me. It's never had handball. And some of the time I get the opposite. I'll be like, damn, I'm tied. I gotta win this one. I shoot the ball from far away. The player throws his leg out, but somehow the defender ends up blocking it with his hand extended out. But of
Oh
course,
yeah,
doesn't
that
get called. And I'm like, dude, like I just get mad. I'm like, you know
like
what? Screw this game.
the how compact like the AI's defense is baffling to me. Also, I'm not gonna lie. One time when one of the career modes that I was doing, I was playing with Arsenal. I was playing against Real Madrid, and I immediately got pissed off because I got chased down by Kylian Mbappe, and I was like, Kylian Mbappe doesn't even play defense. Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of BellyUpSports. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I was like, this guy does not do this. This guy never
He doesn't run back.
He never runs back to go get the defense, like go get the ball back. Like I've never seen him do this in my entire life. Maybe now because of Xabi Alonso, but I was like, I remember getting livid. I mean, livid at this. It was insane. But yes, yeah, we've set out the complaints, but yeah,
We still play it.
at this point we have Stockholm syndrome. You know, like it's just it is what it is, kind of with this game. You know, it's the song by Eminem. You know, love the way you lie. You just don't know why, but you just keep coming back for more,
Yeah.
more and more
Do
beats.
you remember when PES or eFootball and like Konami and EA were at battle to battle where it was like, hey, we got Messi on the cover. Hey, we got this league. Hey, you know what? We have this new at a feature added into it. Hey, we have this new. Ever since EA became the standalone where it's like, okay, you literally have no
Well,
competition
so
whatsoever.
so EA Sports
It's like,
FC for what EA had always had that like that PES didn't have was the licensing.
yeah,
That at the end of the day, they had the licenses for the Premier League. They had the licenses for Serie A at some point. Um, you know, like those teams. I mean, they would, you know, PES would get some of those. They would get team specific ones. I mean,
yeah,
that's the reason why we got Piermont Calcio. Remember that team?
yeah,
And now, I mean, I will say for the Italian sides, it is kind of annoying just seeing like FC Milano, whatever Inter Milan is. It's kind the logo's kind of cool actually. It's just a snake, but Latium for Lazio. That's weird. But I mean, at the end of the day, they still have like the brand of the Serie A. Like that's the only thing that maybe PES doesn't get. But once again, you have La Liga, you have the Bundesliga. Now you have the Champions League. So like, I mean, yeah, they just have the licenses. That's really what EA has an advantage over PES, and that's why it didn't pan out. I don't remember I never really played PES, so I can't tell you about how like the gameplay was, how control. I know that PES like you could create you can use a player as a manager, or you can create like you can actually use like managers like current managers, which is now EA has that feature. But like yeah, I know that, and I mean that's kind of what people do to like these failing like I guess businesses that they once they bleed them out, they'll start taking their ideas. You know, because I mean, how many times have we said like, hey, it would be nice if I could, you know, actually create my own manager instead of having to use some generic looking one. One of the like the six guys that were available for managers. That I don't know if you remember that. You probably do remember that. Which I always picked the guy that kind of looked like Messi. So I'm sure everyone knows who I'm talking
yep,
about. Or yeah, because in it. So I don't know. I don't know all the new features for this one, but like you know, the thing is, it's funny with EA Sports FC. They say all these things like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be so much different. Like it's gonna be crazy." So like, here's a prime example: overhaul gameplay powered by community feedback. Play your way in EA Sports FC's 26 with more responsive dribbling, smarter AI positioning, doubt that, and sharper and more explosive movement. Yeah, that's. I think they said that also about last year too, by the way.
yeah, I think they did.
So yeah, so new play styles, new and player. Also, I hate the player roles.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I hate that, especially if you don't pay attention to the tactics that you're using. Because this is something that I was getting really pissed off with this recent EA Sports FC was instead of subbing out like wingers and attackers and midfielders, I'm using all my substitutes for defenders because they were getting tired because I didn't realize that they were on their defensive like play style. Their player role was like on the one that like you're like burns out all their freaking stamina. Sorry for
yeah,
cussing. But yeah, so that was like it. And as soon as I figured it out, I was so pissed because I was just like, this whole time, this is all I had to do was just switch him back to defender. That's all I had to do this whole time. I'm over here getting mad that I'm like, dude, like I can't even sub out my midfielder because I got to sub out the center back because he's at like 30 stamina. So
yeah.
yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, that was super annoying. But yes, I am buying buying EA Sports FC 26.
More than likely, more
No,
than likely.
I did. I already got the pre.
Oh my God, I still haven't. Usually, okay, so here's
I
my.
don't even know why I do the pre-orders. I have no idea why I do this because it's not like I go play foot, like because that's like the only benefit. Like to pre-order it is like here you get this many tokens, you get to have a loan, like a top quality loan player. It's
Yeah,
just like I was like, okay, cool. I don't play it, but all right. It's
yeah,
like,
right. But and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't play that either. I'll play foot whenever I'm like, man, I was like, I'm whooping ass in manager mode. Let me go ahead and start a foot, and then I'll go ahead and play it. My thing is, I always buy it whenever it's on Black Friday special or something like that.
I should be doing that, honestly.
Like it's what 1 month after, 2 months, maybe close to 2 months after it comes out, and it's like, yeah, all we do is play manager mode. It's cheap. It's like $40. Sometimes it's $30, and I'm like, that's like half off and everything.
So here's the obviously the only thing me and I really care about is manager mode. Um, I was never really a big player career mode guy. That takes way too much patience.
Yeah.
That's too much time on your hands. But take on new challenges in manager and player career. Experience manager career like never before. I mean, how many times have we heard that one? With all new manager live challenges throughout the season. God, that's gonna piss me off already. You need to sign 2 players from Portugal, or else we're gonna fire you. I don't care if you got us a treble. You didn't get me 2 Portuguese players.
Yep. I remember that. Like for some reason, that's always the highest thing. It's like get two, three young signings from such and such country, and you're just like, okay, I got two. I got two.
I
Looks like we're not
I
about to get this, so we're gonna have to let you go.
I'm
Like,
I'm playing with
what?
I'm playing with Arsenal. I must play with I have to give my 3 academy players 50% of the matches played.
Yeah,
And I'm like, dude, we're freaking Arsenal.
yeah.
Like, like I get it if I'm like in Morecambe Town in freaking League Two. I get doing that for that, but I'm in the Premier League. I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, it's oh my god. Um, where was I? Yeah, all new live manager challenges throughout the new season. Take on a variety of real world scenarios and alternative storylines, ranging from few minutes of play to multiple seasons, and earn rewards including season points, vanity, and icon. I get now FUT rewards for playing career mode.
I mean, I guess it'll give you incentive to play foot.
That's weird. Additionally, for the first time ever, movement in the manager market sees team tactics transformation over time as new managers take the helm, changing the dynamics of every new season. Oh,
Well, apparently it's
oh,
interesting.
because I mean, all right. For instance, say like you become the manager of Barcelona, like what happens to Hansi Flick? Like you know,
Yeah.
like I'm now in my career mode right now for that I'm doing. I'm the manager of Real Madrid. Did we just like kill off Carlo Ancelotti or what? Like we never see that guy again.
He retired. Apparently, he would retire. You know.
I guess EA Sports FC just retires a lot of guys. So
Yeah.
Hansi Flick, you're you
Oh
retire.
God.
You retire, buddy. I'm sure everyone would love to do that to Ruben Amorim then, if that's the case. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so okay, that's kind of interesting. So that means like I wonder if they do that, do they like create like Jurgen Klopp and Zinedine Zidane, like they have them available so that way like like as manager I want that manager that's gonna be interesting. Like if they do this right, and also because like it would be annoying whenever like you know, uh, like for instance, like, all right, so like, so for you guys to know how I do career modes, I'll start off like with a small club, usually like not even in the Power Five leagues. Like I'll do like, like Switzerland or Belgium or somewhere around there. I don't even touch Portugal or Scottish Premier League. I'll go like really into the depths and not even with a good team. Like I'll probably pick like one of the worst teams in that league, and and I'll work my way. Like I'll kind of do like a journeyman career mode, like so where I'll go to like from team to team and all that stuff. And so, it would be weird how you go to one team, right? You do you do all these changes to the tactics. You kind of maybe I've changed a few players from like a left midfielder to now a winger. You know what I mean, Edward?
Yep.
And then I leave, and they just go back to the whatever tactics that team originally was. Like, you mean to tell me like the next manager just happens to be like the having the same tactics as the previous regime? You know?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of I mean, I don't really know how to say it, but yeah, you already know me. Like, I'll go ahead and do the basically Barcelona tiki taka. Try to do it formation no matter what team I try, because I try to play with the concept that I've known for so long, and that's what worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm trying to do it with Manchester United, and my God, we were just talking about this. It is so difficult.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and one of the new another thing to mention, um, experience unrivaled authenticity. I doubt that, because you still haven't gotten all the teams from the Serie A yet. But they are bringing back Liga MX,
That's good.
so unfortunately, and I say this for myself too, because it's hard not to do this. Is you grab the Mexican free agents, like all the Liga MX guys, because they don't have club. Obviously there's no Liga MX, and they have the Mexican national team for like the international teams, and so they're like Henry Martin's available, Marcelo Ruiz is available, Alexi Vega is available, um, not Memo Ochoa now because obviously he doesn't play Liga MX, but Malagon, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it's I've tried ever to like limit myself to maybe like one or two guys from there, just because it is super convenient and they are like immediate upgrades to some, especially if you're starting at a low team, right?
Yeah.
Like Henry Martin, probably like probably a big upgrade for like your current nine. Same thing for Marcelo Ruiz, who obviously has like a ridiculous potential. Like this dude like gets up in the 80s.
Yep.
So Marcelo Ruiz is another one. Israel Reyes, really good player by the way. I like using him also in career modes.
Yep.
So yeah, so all the guys that liked spamming the hell out of the Mexican players, that's gonna not be a thing. So and so I mean, positive, but also like I'm happy because Liga MX is back because I actually do like playing with Liga MX teams. Kind of similar to what I was saying with the like when I do that journeyman type career mode, I actually would like to start with Liga MX because I would like to try to say I can win. I've won all trophies. Like maybe at one point find myself at Boca Junior or River Plate, and try to win the Liga Libertadores.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so things like that. Like that's how I do career modes. Also, obviously, the road to glory is also another fun way to play. Um, I've also like retired a player and to make them a manager. I've done that a few
Oh,
times.
you have?
Yeah, I did that with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I did that with Muslera. Uh, so like I don't pick like a young player or anything like that. I'll pick like a guy that's definitely up there in it. I might get to do that with Luka Modric. I'll probably do that with Luka Modric this year. So it's just another dynamic, another way to play the game. Like that's how, like it's so much fun doing it that way versus just picking Real Madrid and just being completely OP.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, remember what we like to do either way, what we like to do is sometimes we'll go ahead and go to like third division and try to move up to that first division.
Road to Glories, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and I actually I think this would be a perfect way to end this. Do you want to do your like we'll do like I guess 5 players of you want to do 5 players or like just like no we'll just show some love to a player that we love using from our time playing FIFA, doing career modes. You want to do 2 or 3? Like one, what 3 players?
Yeah, three players should be fine.
All right, all right. Edward, who's the first player you want to give a shout out to?
Hmm. I'm gonna let you go first because I'm trying. I'm thinking. Now you got me thinking hard.
Okay, the first one I'm gonna go with is I'm not proud of this, but he I did use him a lot as a goalkeeper. Well, I mean he is a goalkeeper. And that is Chelsea product. Let me make sure I get his name right before I get myself in more trouble. Jamal Blackman,
Okay.
English goalkeeper, currently plays in Shrewsbury Town now. But yeah, he was. There was at one point he was a player with great potential. So, and obviously, like doing Road to Glories, you start out with a terrible team. I think his rating was like good enough to play for like League Two, and then obviously by the time we progressed to the Premier League, this dude's like a high 70s, almost like low 80s player. So yeah, Jamal Blackman, just what a beast. Um, yeah, that's gonna be my first player to give some love
Okay.
to.
Well, do you remember my goalkeeper that I would always pick, and I would always tell you, dude, he is on fire. I don't know how, and then his potential in the game was always amazing. And somehow he would always end up going up into the 80s, maybe close to the 90s after like a few seasons with the team. No matter what team I chose, whether it was like Man U, Barcelona, I would always pick him up. Um, Angus Gunn, remember?
Hmm.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So, right, remember, I would always pick him up from Norwich. I would always pick him up from Norwich, and I'd be like, all right, I'm picking Angus. We'd always be like, Angus Gunn. And but right now, I believe he's playing for Nottingham Forest. So I mean, he'd always show like, oh, showing great potential. Like every time we'd pick him. Yeah, he was always pretty good for
Yeah,
me. I mean, shit, he would do clean sheets like a motherfucker. Sorry, Kelcey.
that is a good one. That is a really good one. Let me see what's
Mm,
another player. Uh, ooh, this is gonna be so. I'm both of these are from what's from Olympic Lyon.
okay.
Uh, one is I think still playing. I don't know about the other one. But he's 30 now, and this kid was like to me was like the goat. He never jumped up in at all in overall rating, and this is also like early EA Sports FC, like like kind of like 2013 FIFA 13 or
Oh man,
around there. So like like players leveling up was like a little bit like if they didn't have like high potential, they just weren't gonna get up there. Like
right.
that's how they did it, right? So
I
his
believe
name
so.
Zachary Labidi uh,
Oh,
was a player that I used a lot. He currently plays in AS Bovis Oise. It's a French club in the fourth level of French football. But yeah, that kid was clutch for me. He was solid, dude. Yeah, that was a guy that I was like. I remember he if I'm playing like a career mode like Road to Glories, like I would go sign him right away and just make him my guy. Like he'd be the only guy that'd be like 69 rated playing in the Premier League. Like, but he was effective. He was scoring goals for me and everything. He was one of my best players. Never got called up by France, by the way. France, what were we
yeah.
doing? What were we doing at that time? Guy was so good in FIFA. So yeah, shout out to him.
Oh, dude. Um. So, okay. What was your other second one? You said you were gonna say a second one. You had
Uh,
two.
oh, okay. His name is let me see, Gaetan Pierin. He's he,
Ethan.
he's 27. So him and Labidi were like two guys that I used. And he's a left midfielder. He actually currently plays for Krasnodar, and which I believe is in Russia. Yeah, and yeah, so he currently plays in Russia. But yeah, so he was another Olympic Lyon, product. And yeah, another dude that, especially playing in that dude was my 10. Like, so I had Labidi on the wing, and then he was playing my 10. And yeah, these guys, like, I like these. I was like, dude, these guys are so good. But same thing, like he would be like 69 rated. Like they were like, I mean, Labidi obviously didn't pan out, which is unfortunate. Jamal Blackman, I mean, he's still playing. So I mean, they're all playing. They're all still playing. It's like my boys are growing up, man. This is what I guess I view them as. But yeah, those were three guys that I use pretty frequently in career modes. Jamal Blackman, just coincidence, was just a really good goalkeeper for me. Um, yes, I did use him mainly out of just how I found the name funny. Um, so I did most of the guys that, like, when they saw him, they're like, "Wait, is that guy's name Blackman?" And I was like, "Yeah, Jamal Blackman."
Well, I would always I'd always go and pick up this kid whenever I would. Well, back then he was a kid, um, but he was always a really good center mid, and he even his attribute. I think his trait was like passer. Like he was a really good passer, thorough passing and everything. Lewis Cook, who plays in Bournemouth right now,
Oh yeah,
and
that's a
and
good one.
and then the thing is like he was a high over, like everybody else was like a 60, 58, something like that. But when he was playing for Leeds United, I would always pick him up because Leeds United had him on the bench, and I was playing with like a third division team, and it was like I think I was playing with Ipswich Town at the time.
And it's
And
like, I'm gonna make you a star, kid.
no, that's exactly what I would do. Like I picked him up, and then I would use one of the really young kids who was like a 61 overall, maybe 59, to be a striker. And I would link him up. Lewis Cook was basically the link up to all those passes, to all those goals to this one kid. I do not remember his name to be one, but Lewis Cook was the master passer for that one. And man, dude, like I think I used him 3 seasons straight to bring up Ipswich Town all the way up to the Premier League. And yeah, like three, and I mean when I mean 3 seasons straight, I mean like 3 years of EA FC when
Hmm.
back when it was FIFA. Like I
Oh,
would
oh
use
yeah,
Lewis Cook.
I was the same way with Labidi and Perrin and Blackman. Like I would like every FIFA, like as soon as, especially because like honestly with all the glitches and stuff, I'm like I'm better off just playing with like like the a League Two team anyways.
And then I have another one too. So as you know, back in 2017, 2018, okay, let's say 2017. At the time, was we were expecting twins and stuff. And of course, one of them was his name's Mateo, and I would always end up picking up a Mateo to be on the team for Ipswich Town. Mind you, he wasn't like the best, and even now, like kind of stinks that he never lived up to what I made him to be. Like well, I made him good, and he was a center attacking mid, center mid, and center defensive mid. So he played all those three positions.
Hmm.
Um, the thing is, it was I believe at the time he was maybe like 18, 19. He was really young. Um, Um, his name was Mateo, and that's the thing. It's like I would always, like I said, even to this day, I'll go ahead and look up my kids' names, and I'm always like, oh, well, let me go ahead and find Mateo, ironically from Argentina. Um, yeah, I think his name was Mateo Cáceres. So he was legit like a baller, a beast. And this is back then, he didn't even have a picture. It was just a blank thing, not even like a region, anything. It was just a blank picture. So that's why I'm like, I know he wasn't like considered good, and I would always pick him up. And also, he was really good at passing. really good at passing. Like I was to the point where I was just like, dang, like, I was always like really, really crazy. Um, and then also shout out to Iker Benito because I was always pick him as my left winger. And same thing because I had my son's name. And I made him good, like to the point where I would get offered money from the upper division teams, talking about like the club would come to me and say, "Hey, so they offered this much money for this player, and according to a release clause," and I'm like, I don't remember a release clause on this player, or like they're paying like way buku money for him. So they'd be like, so we've decided to agree to let him join over to that team, and I'm just like. Oh, I was like, damn it, dude. I was like, I would lose the players that I would pick up. Lewis Cook, that was one of them. Mateo and Iker Benito, like those three players were always bought from either. It could have been either like uh, Birmingham. I think a couple times it was Tottenham, and I was just like, bruh, like really? Like I just built them up. We're moving up a division because of them, and I was like, now you're just gonna kind of screw me over. I was like, stupid, stupid game. I was always mad. I
Oh,
was like,
because you
damn.
you had the buyout clause, right?
That's the thing. I didn't no, that's the thing. I never bought a release. I never bought him with a release clause or whatever. But I think because I think it was like, oh yeah, their wages are too much or something, or their wages are getting a little bit over what we can afford. So we're going to release them to this team. They're willing to pay blah 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 blah. And I was like, I've never experienced that. That's the thing. I've never experienced that. That was around the 17, 18, FIFA 18, FIFA 19. Like, I think those were around the time that they were doing that, where I was just like, bruh, like, let me, because their ratings were so high up to the point where they were like, hey, boss, I want to leave. Like they would say, I want to leave. I'm putting in my transfer. And I was just like, no, don't leave. And I'm over here trying to do contract negotiations. And then it would tell me, oh, yeah, you can't afford these players. And I'm like, oh, and then I would get offered crazy money for them. And that's what I'm like. And then sometimes I wouldn't even get offered the money. The club was just like, oh, hey, this player has been let go for this amount of money. And at the end of the season, blah, 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 blah. And I'm over here like, you guys just blindsided me. I was like, I did not know that. I was like, that's the thing. It was like it sometimes, now you do get that email of like, hey boss, I want to go play somewhere else, blah, 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 blah. I feel like this team is too small. I want to go play somewhere else, blah, 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 blah. Now that's how it is now. Back then, apparently, you didn't even get that email. You just basically got the hey, we're selling this player because he's actually being offered this much money, blah 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 blah, and the player has decided to go. And I'm just like, like I'm over here like, yeah, like blindsided. So, but yeah, those three players were mostly my key players, and they made it happen with Ipswich Town to the point where I think it was maybe
What were the play?
20.
What were the players again?
It was I think it was Mateo Cáceres, Lewis Cook, and Iker Benito.
Mateo Cáceres.
He was Argentinian. Yeah, because with Ipswich Town, I couldn't afford Mateo Kovacic,
Was he? Wait, you said Argentinian or Mexican?
Argentinian.
Okay, you need to send me those names because I might do something with them. So
Oh God.
just but yeah, man, but so on top of that, with those three, and then Angus Gunn, or you're not gonna mention Angus Gunn?
Yeah, I did. Angus Gunn, but that's the thing. Angus Gunn was the only one that would stay. The only time he ever got picked up was when it was like we moved up the division. I was
It,
like, "Yay, second division, woohoo!" And they're like, "Oh yeah, someone from the Premier League wants to buy him, and he's accepted the offer." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like,
it,
"Dog!" I was like, "I didn't even get that, but that
wow.
was one time."
And Angus Gunn is currently, I think he's the keeper for Nottingham Forest,
Yep.
and he's the Scottish national team.
Yep.
So you must be proud.
Ha ha ha.
No, yeah, no, it is funny because I mean, like with me, like obviously Jamal Blackman, like I said, He's playing in Shrewsbury Town. Uh, Gaitan is well. I mean, he's still playing in the top flight, in Russia. And then Labidi is like in the fourth division. And then I mean, since you mentioned a fourth guy, I guess I'll throw another one out there. Let me see. He played for Toluca. Yeah, ready to hear from Edward. Um, Damn, what's his name? Antonio Rios.
Oh,
I
okay.
I I
Dang.
I I used him a lot. I mean, he's like 36 years old now, but like he was like like yes, me and I were talking about young players, but also like I needed dogs, and Antonio Rios was a dog.
Yeah.
So so I would bring him in. He kind of became my enforcer on in the midfield. And yeah, so like that was another one. Like you don't always have to get young guys, especially when you're doing Road to Glory. You need a guy that can set the tone, and this was my tone setter. He was like, we especially when we're talking about League Two and League One and the championship, can't give any fucks. Is in that league, I need a guy that can throw some elbows. Sorry for cussing Kelcey, but yeah. But man, yeah, I'm kind of glad we did this. I'm kind of glad that we got to talk about FIFA and EA Sports FC. Like once again, it's a big part of our lives, growing up. Just not just being just kids, but I mean like in the sport in general, man. Like this is for a lot of people, this was like their gateway into this game, right?
Yeah.
So I think I think it was cool to talk about this for a bit. If you guys haven't played, or especially, it's funny because like this is also how a lot of people got to learn the rules of the game, like to understand what offside was, to understand, goal kick versus corner kick, and all those things. This game really, and then understanding like how do you commit a foul, how not to commit a foul. Like I think it did help in some way. And also if you get like really mad that your team got obliterated by a rival, it's always great to offload some steam and maybe after you got like shellacked by Barcelona, you just go out and win like 10-0. Not that I know if that's ever happened to me or anything like that, but maybe even set it even to an easier level so you can score a little bit more. Maybe I don't know if you know anything about that, but
Oh yeah. World class, legendary. I've been able to pull that off. But like I said, it's like I have to change so much, especially when it comes to Man United. I have to change so much.
okay. Before we wrap this up, most what's someone that you're about to play against? You're about to play somebody. What is one of the most annoying things that you've experienced playing against somebody in FIFA or AS Sports FC?
Like against a person or against a computer?
Against a person.
Against a person. Uh, I think basically it's like just that, just the whole handball thing was one.
The
The offside deal before this was before I think VAR
I'm
was
talking
even.
about a person, a thing a person does that you're like that's annoying.
Oh, I guess the slide tackling from behind.
Oh, okay.
That when I'm actually running, you were known for that, sir.
Yeah, but that's only if I was like losing by a lot. Like I wasn't gonna win. So I was like,
You would
what?
sacrifice the red card.
Get the 3 red card rule come into play. So I think was it with 3 red cards and the game's automatically over.
No,
Uh
you would still play with nine. I think it was like four red cards, and then that's when
it
it.
was 4 red cards. But yeah, I think for me one of the most annoying things was look. I get like getting maybe moving some maybe like all right. For instance, Edward kind of knows this. Whenever we played, and I mean we'll do Real Madrid versus Barcelona because I mean it's the 2 best teams in the world.
Yeah,
Like Edward knows that. Oh, I think it was like the years when Gonzalo Higuain was considered the starting 9. I would immediately take him out, put in Karim Benzema.
oh yeah,
So
I
like I
remember.
get like switching maybe 1 or 2 guys from the roster that you prefer to play with. Like I get that. But the guy that has to like change the formation, change the tactical approach, change each player's archetype. Like, that guy, the one that you're like spending almost like 20 minutes just on the menu itself before you even get to play. Like you probably the length of the game probably lasted not as long as that guy took to set up his team. So like that guy is annoying to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you ever had to deal with that.
Switching like your main. Yeah, I have.
No, but I mean
Like your
like
main.
not change like for instance, if you needed to take out, let me see, Brent Waif, right? If you took Brent Waif out because you wanted to put in, I don't know, a player at the time. You're putting Messi at the 9 so you can play with somebody else, or I don't know, whatever you're gonna do. I get that's perfectly fine. But like, say you decide, you know what? I'm not gonna play with a 4-3-3. I'm gonna use a 5-2-3 formation. You know what I mean? And then I'm
Yeah.
gonna change. Then I'm also gonna change everybody's approach. I'm gonna change how we're pressing. Essentially, like this is like that's annoying. Like I'm like we're only gonna play like a 14-minute game. You're doing too much, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I feel like
And obviously, there's no way to avoid it unless you're if you're playing at your own house and you already had that preset, because that's the only way you can do it, right? Like that's the easiest way to do it is if you already have a preset to the team.
yeah, I remember
But
that preset stuff. Like you had your own team, your team squad list and stuff like that, and you had a preset. So yeah, I remember that. But then I still
I'd
remember
rather
like
that.
us spending like I think we spent like God knows how much time just in the
You know
team
what?
settings.
FIFA needs to bring back the timer, because I remember when you and me had that. Because I remember you and me kind of maybe not as bad as what I'm saying, but like because remember, I don't know if you remember do you remember the timer?
I don't remember. I think that's only online.
No,
When we
no, they would do it also for. Oh, maybe it was just online.
or no. Actually, are you talking about when you pause?
No, I'm talking about like before we even play, like
No, I don't.
changing the tactics, changing the formation, changing all that. Like
Mm,
before we get into play.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, they used to. I believe there was a timer. I think EA, you need to bring that back. By the way, that would
Hmm.
do a lot of people so many favors. But yeah, so so EA Sports FC, man, it early access drops this weekend. Next week for those who did not get the pre-orders in, or I don't even think my pre-order falls under that category. If it does, then I'll be playing some EA Sports FC. But and maybe next week I'll share whether or not the game was great or not. It's probably gonna be the same exact fucking game.
Yeah,
It's probably gonna definitely be the same game. So all right, so we'll go
just like
ahead
a
and
slight peak, like slight little tweak.
the only thing that will be different is that the kits are different. Like the kits and some players, actually, sometimes they don't even update the roster. So,
Yeah, true.
so all right, that's great. But yeah, so that is us talking about EA Sports FC. If you guys are into EA Sports FC, I would highly recommend you guys maybe buy last year's EA Sports because it's probably gonna be cheaper. Especially if you're gonna buy a new game that costs like almost like $80. So yeah, also game prices are getting ridiculously high.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's just me. But anyways, man, we'll take a break and then we'll go into me and Kelcey recapping the U.S. men's national team this September. Fight and win! All right, guys. You've heard him plenty of times in recent episodes just doing the whole 3 up, 3 downs, but I haven't gotten a chance to do some footy talk with my boy Kelcey of High Low Sports. Kelcey, it's been too long.
Yeah, it's good to be back. We were just talking off air how long it's been. I feel like I've been lost in the sauce here since we had our Gold Cup conversation. We haven't really got a chance to talk since then. And yeah, man, I'm glad to be back. And fortunately, it's talking about what we're about to talk about. It's not the good fun stuff. Maybe it's fun. I don't know. We'll see in 9 months. But it's glad to be back.
as of right now, I am just riding on the whole Pope World Cup theory right now. That's all I'm riding on right now. If you guys don't know, the last two popes were the World Cup winners. So I'm riding with that. I'm gonna ride with that for right now. We do have an American pope, Peruvian, but American. So
hey, he flies under the American banner at the end of the day. That's the only important part.
He had the White Sox hat. He was at the White Sox when I don't want to talk about that.
He's a Bears fan too, so I feel bad for the guy. Like, you definitely got to be a man of God if you're rooting for the Bears, because there's a lot of praying going on.
There's a lot of faith in there. A lot of faith. So definitely that. But yeah, man, Kelcey kind of alluded. U.S. men's national team, that's what we're here to talk about. Obviously, if you guys listened to the podcast from the beginning, you already know that this was happening. Shocking.
Surprise.
But yes, the U.S. men's, obviously, after every U.S. men's national team, friendlies, matches, whatever they have, we have to do a recap of the U.S. men's national team. Why do I do this? Why do I put myself through this?
Torture yourself a little more. You can't get enough of torturing yourself. It just feels like you need to do it a little bit more.
And it's not like I could just pick another national, like, I can't look at El Salvador, who had like one of the greatest wins against Guatemala, and then shits the bed in front of Suriname in El Salvador. Sorry for cousin Kelcey. But it's like I can't win. So it's either El Salvador and hope maybe Bukele can get involved with that team, or the U.S. men's national team, who clearly has the better resources of an El Salvador. So.
Yeah. See, I could go Spain. My dad is born in Spain, so I could technically claim Spain. But then I feel like I'm just like jumping on a bandwagon. Mm-hmm. Even though Fernando Torres is one of my all-time favorite soccer players, football players. But then I also have Ireland, just from the heritage. But like, that's a step down from the U.S., so it's not like I can choose anything else either. I mean, I could choose Spain, but let's not. We already have enough bandwagon American fans. Let's not do that.
But yes, so U.S. men's national team, in their two friendlies, it was a 2-0 loss to South Korea. So, Heung-min Son, you did not put your band in the deal. We said come 2026 World Cup, we expect a USA win. I know it's not 2026, but we still expect USA wins here, sir. And you scoring a goal on us did not help at all. As a matter of fact, your teammate also scoring did not help either. But still, pretty cool sight, I think, in general. Could have been a lot worse, the first game. It was very statistically, I mean, it's 50-50 in the possession-wise, 54 towards the U.S., but still, nonetheless. U.S. had more shots than Korea, but once again, South Korea was just more effective at the end of it all. Like I said, man, possessions can be an irrelevant stat if there's no substance, and I think the moral of that first game was just, you had the ball.
We were on the field. We were on the field, and I guess that's all that mattered. I don't know.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to note from this game, besides that, is just Tristan Blackman started for some weird reason. That was one thing I wanted to note, and that's all I wanted to know. It's just Tristan Blackman made his U.S. men's national team debut, and hopefully it's his last U.S. men's national team debut.
Hopefully, I feel bad when there's a young player that I'm just going to like completely just and utterly dislike. But we're going to do this right here. Tristan Blackman, I don't ever want to see starting on the U.S. men's national team again.
Also, not young at all. 29 years old.
I mean, younger than Tim Ream. So, I mean, I will say that it was bad, and he got lost trying to keep up with Sonny. Let's be fair. There's been a lot of great national teams who can't keep up with Son at all. But this was just bad. This was so bad. Tim Ream didn't help matters, but yeah, Tristan Blackman was not a good look whatsoever. I don't ever want to see Chris Richards not on the pitch anymore unless he's just injured. Because this is he's so good compared to what we currently have at center back.
Yeah,
I can't watch anything else.
And we'll definitely talk more about that when we get there. And then USA did get a 2-0 victory against Japan. I'm just gonna just boastfully say, like, even though Mexico did draw against Japan and did draw 2-2 to Mexico, to South Korea, I just want to say we won. You know, we got a victory versus Mexico, who got 2 draws. I will say though, they did win in one department, and I don't know if you were watching the Spanish version of those. I don't know if you decided what's going on with Mexico and in these matches. When they played against Japan, the hashtag was tacos versus sushi. That was phenomenal. And then for South Korea, I believe it was mariachi versus K-pop. So that was the hashtag for those games. And don't change, Univision. Don't ever change.
No.
I love you for who you are. Yes, most of the time when I listen to you guys' commentary, if it's USA or El Salvador, you guys hold nothing back. Even when you have a legend like Cienfuegos available in your guys' broadcasting crew, you guys do not hold back. And also Marcelo Balboa, you guys do not hold back, once again. It would be nice if you guys could just hold back maybe a little bit. Mostly factual. Can't say, they're
not wrong at the end of the day, but it feels wrong. They're not wrong.
It hurts, but they're right. In this one, once again, I will say Poch ball, if there's anything, possession matters, I guess, but they took a lot of shots. They did get a lot of shots on target. They did get 2 goals, which was a Zendejas goal and a Balogun goal. Balogun did get player of the match for that one, for that match against Japan. Also, anything to note on that in that roster, I would say it was interesting having a 3-4-3 formation. I thought I know that we saw that in the first time we ever saw Pochettino setup, that he used a 3 in the back system. It was intriguing. Blackman was once again used, but like I said, I think I've seen all that I need to see. He did rotate out the squad. We saw Max Arfson did play both matches, but Sergiño Dest did not play, or at least I believe did not start.
He came on as a sub in game 1 versus Korea.
But yeah, so and Zendejas is like the player I will point out. Anything you want to point out from the Japan game?
Japan wise, I think it's worth noting how good.
Also, it was a rotated Japan team. I should probably mention.
Yeah, it was. That is important because I think it gives a little bit of a lens to what I'm about to say. Arston and Freeman look good attacking, but against a competent starting Japan team, I would be a lot more nervous with them in any defensive roles. But I do like what they can both bring attacking. I think Arston, is proven attacking-wise, he is a really good option for this U.S. men's national team. I just think his defensive abilities are always going to struggle. Dest is the same thing on the other side. I think he proved that against Japan. He is still a fantastic option going forward, despite the major leg injury he's coming off of. And yeah, I think Zendejas, if anybody who thinks he's not a good winger, I please watch the Japan game again and just watch him off the ball, watch him make runs, watch what he was doing
immediately as soon as he came on the game.
Everything. And I think it's worth noting, he's a guy that should be, against Korea, he was brought on as a sub and he was impactful immediately. Didn't get much minutes, but he was still impactful. When you brought him on and you kept him on for the whole game against Japan, it was a completely different conversation where he was impactful from the word go. And yes, it's a switched out Japan team. It's not necessarily the team that is one of the 25 best in the world, but they're not a team of scrubs either. Japan is built to play whether their starters are ready, their stars are ready to go, or they're not. They're going to play the same level of football either way. I don't know. Zendejas to me is really impressive from this call up in a very meh call up window in the grand scheme of it. This one was
I was going to ask you that. It was your thoughts in general of this really bizarre call up.
It is just a bizarre, weird window. I feel like the season's just started for some of these guys, and we're already calling people up internationally. It just didn't feel normal. Mm-hmm. I'm used to the September call ups. I wasn't used to a early September call up. That was the weird part. I was I'm used to it being the end of September. So they get some 6 matches. Josh Sargent in game 1 didn't look great. I'm glad he didn't play in game 2. Hope he figures it out. But Balogun needs to be our starter. Like, yeah, I think it's proven time and time again now at this point. Like, he needs to be our number 9.
It's just levels, man. Look, the thing is, like, obviously, I keep pulling for Josh Sargent. He's showcasing so well in the championship right now with Norwich. Took a huge gamble, had an opportunity to go back to Werder Bremen, and said, "Nah, I'm staying put with Norwich." And I mean, he is the captain of Norwich right now. Literally, 3 matches, 6 goals already in his under his name. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's getting the reason why he's getting called up is because he is essentially he is our most informed player. But we've this isn't just a U.S. thing. We've seen players from across the globe that are just fantastic players on the pitch for their club. But as soon as they put on that international kit, they just disappear, and it just more and more. It's happening with Josh Sargent. I mean, Balogun, who has played fewer matches than Josh Sargent, has already surpassed him in the goal mark, in the goal tally, which,
Josh Sargent, 17 games without a goal going back to 2019. Pre-COVID is the last time he scored a goal in the Stars and Stripes.
And I believe that was a Camp Cupcake game.
Yeah. So it's tough. I mean, he does everything well. I think for him, he needs a certain style of play, and I don't know if the U.S. men's national team has that style of play for him.
A lot of people, like, what their defense was for Sargent was he wasn't getting service. And at first I was like, maybe they're telling the truth, but then as a 9, your job is to give you can't just stand there and hope the ball gets you. It works for Olivier Giroud, but also Olivier Giroud had probably one of the most talented Chelsea players in that club's history to give him the ball. No offense to, which is funny because that also included Christian Pulisic, but
yeah.
But that's not the case here, especially with Pacha's style. I just don't think that necessarily that works well. Guys like Balogun work for a reason because, one, you could just it's levels, right? It's just levels on levels. What Balogun has gone through, I don't like using this word, but he's a proper 9. He's what you expect. Came up the ranks in England, and now, and I'm still a Ricardo Pepi guy, and I'm still gonna rock with Ricardo Pepi. And I think that what he brings to the table also may be very different to Balogun, but is very more physical. He's more about beating you out to get to the ball, and he's gonna find his slot, and he's gonna kick the crap out of it to put it in the back of the net. Obviously very Mexico-esque is to be more direct to where he is. So you have like a little bit. You got the English tea, and then you got tequila. So it's a really good best of both worlds here.
Like, let's be honest. Well, Balogun, I wouldn't even say he's like honestly, Josh Sargent is a more English style 9 in my eyes. He is the very Harry Kane-esque 9, where he'll drop in and drop into a midfield role, but he's not going to make then the advanced move to get back to the 9 position. Like, he's going to hang back, and that's fine if you have somebody else to fill the role. But the U.S., we've seen it when there's no Balogun, when there's no Sargent, when there's no Downs, when there's no striker that's there, that's a true striker. That team does not do well. When Jesus Ferreira's up there, it didn't work.
I gotta say one thing because you said something that I do definitely want to point out. You made a very valid point. Sargent will work if Gio Reyna can finally get his things in order.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Say what you want with all the issues that he has with the club side of things. Things that weren't working out with Dortmund, and I really hope that things work out over at Mönchengladbach for him. One, because he just needs to play. I think, honestly, he is very much a very talented player. Overrated is definitely a fair word to say to him, but when we see that guy on the field, especially in that USA shirt, he's just a different type of player. He very much is. He brings a certain. Every time I've ever seen him, when he puts on the USA shirt, is when he's on that lineup, when he's playing, not even having to play his role. Sometimes they put him out of position. I mean, not the World Cup, but we know that there was a whole other mess of things that was wrong with that team. But he always had a significant moment. I mean, he almost went coast to coast against Mexico. I mean, that's one of the first things I think of when it comes to Gio Reyna. And, you're talking about a guy that will understand how Josh Sargent would work, where Josh Sargent does drop down. Gio Reyna knows immediately, all right, he's coming down, I'm coming up, being that shadow striker-esque type player. So, and that's also the real big issue with this U.S. men's national team call was, we didn't have this wasn't the full U.S. men's national team roster. Yes, Christian Pulisic was there. It was great to see him out there playing. 2, it's great to see him that he's showing what he's capable of. I know all this talk. I'm tired of all the talk. I'm ready for him to let his ball do the work for him, and I think it very much is because Alexi Lawless and Landon Donovan has shut up since, and so that's a win in my books. So I think that, but once we see our Weston McKennie, once we see Anthony Robinson when he's fully healthy, once we see these Timothy Weah now that he's kind of a little bit more adjusted in with Marseille. Actually, no, Timothy Weah was here. I think he got hurt. Right?
He got hurt and he got carted off, and that's another one. Like, he's another guy, like you mentioned. Him, Weston McKennie are 2 guys where I think with Josh Sargent they work a lot better because we saw it in the World Cup when Weah was off and running with Pulisic and with Ferreira dropping back. It worked well. And then it's a lot of the same with Josh Sargent. He needs somebody who's going to make the run in behind with him holding up play. He's not just going to turn around. Like Balogun, what he does so great is he runs channels all day long, 24/7. He'll come back and have the energy and the push to get ahead of the ball again. It's just a different play style. And then with Pepe, he does both so well. And he's so physical that he's able to then turn and get on the other side of the defender because he's quick. There's 3 different style of strikers. And Sargent, just the style for Poch with the 3-4-3 or with the 4 back, it just doesn't work for his style of play. With Pepe, with Balogun, it just works so well. And then when we get McKennie in,
I think it comes down to the 10.
Works, yeah.
It comes down to the 10. Yeah. I think if you see a Gio Reyna and even a Malik Tillman as well, yes. Being in that 10 role, it will very much gel a lot better over there for Sargent's favor. And I think that's the part that's kind of hurting Sargent's case is that if things work out, if he gets all his ducks in a row, he will work out. Whereas you guys like Balogun and Pepe, who they just make it work.
Yeah. You plug them into anything and they're going to work. Sargent, you need a specific thing to make him work.
I think for Sargent, his whole thing will be he's going to get called up again. I know there's some people that have doubts. They think, once Adjaman is available, that he'll be called up. I think as long as Sargent keeps going in the way he's going right now with Norwich, especially if you can get them promoted and at least up there in the top scorer for the championship, he's one of those guys that, especially the way he's playing for Norwich, he's gonna get called up. Like, he's a guy in form. You'd be dumb if you do. But then again, I also do not know how Pochettino works in his mind. But in hindsight, it would be dumb if you don't call him up. I think as a third striker option, he's going to be there. I think when it comes to U.S. men's national team, as far as like the certain position groups, I think for the first time, in my opinion, I think 9 is actually not as a big of concern to me as it been, because you do have 3 quality. I won't say quality. You have 3 9s that can do the job. Yeah. At least you feel confident that they can do it.
I'd say you have 4. Really, like I think you throw Adjaman in there. I do think Damian Downs is worth a conversation. I think he has that ability. I would rather pick
Damian Downs than Adjaman, but
I can't doubt Adjaman scoring in the Gold Cup, though.
I love the idea of Adjaman. I love the whole having just a really big, fast dude.
Yeah. Daryl DK if he comes back healthy.
Daryl DK also. He would have been our Josie Altidore if he would.
I think the injuries have finally taken hold there, and that's going to suck. But I think Daryl DK was that guy that would be that next role.
He was the carbon copy of Josie Altidore. He very much was.
Fast, quick, strong.
But yeah, and then also the other thing I want to point. Yeah, you mentioned Zendejas, and I just want to reiterate. It was such a. Now I understand why he didn't get called up for the Gold Cup. Obviously, America was in a potential play-in opportunity to go to the Club World Cup. Obviously, that didn't pan out. The one thing I do question, especially when after the friendlies against Switzerland and Turkey, apparently Turkey is the pronunciation of Turkey. Yeah. Did not know that.
I learned that the hard way. Don't worry.
But yeah, after that, obviously a lot of guys dropped. Sergino Dest dropped. Balogun dropped. I don't remember when Balogun dropped, but basically a lot of names got dropped, and Zendejas didn't get called up regardless. At this point, Club America got eliminated by LAFC and we're not in the Club World Cup. I thought it was a massive miss that we didn't bring him in, and I think that he would have showed out tremendously on the wing for the U.S. men's national team. I'm not saying win the Gold Cup, people, but I will say with his mentality and his approach to the game, adding that to what Diego Luna was doing, with what
Malik was doing,
what we were seeing with Ajaman, what we were seeing with Malik Tillman, that would have been a very interesting front three. And I'm not going to count the striker at this moment. It's just right now that three of Malik Tillman, Diego Luna, and Zendejas would have been a very interesting combination, especially in that Gold Cup, when a lot of these games that just seemed a little too close for comfort could have been a lot more relaxed because of how Zendejas is a CONCACAF proven player, is what I'm trying to tell people. He is physical. Yes, he's little, but don't let that size fool you. This guy, he plays in Liga MX, and he was just doing so well with club, very important to Club America in that season in the Clausura, even though they didn't win it. He still was a very important piece to that team, and it was just, once again, it's one of those, like, how do you not call this guy up when he's literally carrying a team, which is crazy to say when you're talking about Club America.
Yeah, especially for an American to carry them as well. I think people underestimate how much American players in Mexico don't work. Like, normally, they just don't. And that's just how it always is. We've had Hercules Gomez, who was, Pachuca legend. Outside of that, we've had 3 other Americans play in Mexico consistently and do it well. But Zendejas feels like the most exciting of them. And he feels like the most translatable into what the U.S. men's national team does. And
definitely has the trophy room to prove it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I look at him, man, and I'm like, it just bothers me every time I don't see him in a lineup for the U.S. Because it's like, we talked about him, I think it was this time last year, we talked about him making his first appearance or maybe second appearance, something like that, in the September call-up window. And we were like, yeah, we want to see him on the field. We want to see what he can do on the pitch, because we know what he can do in Liga MX. We know what he can do on the pitch against CONCACAF. I want to see what he can do against the world. And I think seeing it again, and look, Japan's no slouch, like I said, whether it's the starters or whether it's the second team, they're no slouch defensively. One of the best tactically defensive teams, and to see Zendejas go at them time and time again and to make inroads.
Not afraid to get a card. Not afraid to get a card.
Not at all, man. Give me all of that. Give me that and put it all in my veins, because I need more of that in the American national team, because we haven't had that since like the Boca Negras, since any of the guys that carried in the 2010 South Africa. None of that. There's no Charlie Davies out there. There's no Gucci Onyewu. There's no Jay DeMerit. There's none of that type of mentality in a lot of the guys. Now, there's Chris Richards now, but Zendejas is the next closest, and a little bit of that comes from his Club America time. It's like, that happens. Like, Liga MX, you can't just be a soft.
Yeah, you're gonna get pushed around that league, and I think that, like you said, why a lot of Americans don't necessarily pan out in Liga MX is because there's that physicality that they're just not prepared for. I mean, DeMarcus Beasley was able to do it. That's another name that, to mention. Yeah. He was able to handle that. But I mean, you're just giving me a chance to bash Landon Donovan. He didn't pan out that well in Leon. So
I leave that alone. I'll leave that one for you.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. Sorry for cousin Kelcey. All right. You know what? We'll go right into the positives when it comes to the positive and negative. The positive for me is going to be Zendejas. So this whole conversation we had about Zendejas is my biggest positive. I think that he kind of, in some essence, I know that he didn't really have like the Diego Luna big balls moment, like Luna had when he broke his nose. But I mean, as soon as he came on the field in the Japan game, he was very physical. I think because of that, it gave Poch like, I need to see a little bit more of this kid. He goes in and scores a banger of a goal against Japan B team, but still scores a banger of a goal against Japan. And I think that if he's not necessarily a shoo-in, I think right now Zendejas is still going to be viewed as a fringe player for the U.S. men's national team for the World Cup. But I think that he definitely earned himself an additional call-up coming October, where he's going to get looked at one more time. And if he can do a little bit more, I'm confident to say we need to see Zendejas in the World Cup. We need him, not as a starter, obviously, but coming off the bench, hopefully Tim Weah is going to be healthy by the summer, but coming off that bench, just being that spark for the team, especially in some crucial group matches.
Yeah, no, I love Zendejas, as we just talked about. He was one of my definite positive players, so I'm going to leave him off of my choice.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of BellyUpSports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
Because my choice is Jack McGlynn. I think he's a positive to me, and I think he's been a positive now for a few call-up windows because he provides something the U.S. I don't think has really ever had. He provides a real true winger, the Phil Foden-esque style winger here that we're seeing that are modern in today's game, and we finally have an American that looks the part of a winger, a guy that's going to stay out wide, but he's going to bring you in on his strong foot, which is usually the inside foot. He's usually a lefty playing on the right side type of thing, and he takes on defenders just as much. But his delivery from set pieces, I don't know if there's a better ball delivery guy on the team right now. Because no offense, Pulisic is not the guy when it comes to a set piece where you're trying to set somebody up to score.
Trust me, I'm fully aware.
People think he's the greatest, and fine, at times he can be really good, but Jack McGlynn provides something that's.
I don't think he should be a free kick specialist. I don't think he should be taking corners. One, at the time when he was doing all that, he wasn't doing it for Chelsea, so it wasn't like he had much repetition of it. AC Milan, he's the penalty kick taker guy. I haven't seen him do it.
He does it for AC now. If it's a direct free kick within 25, he'll be the guy. But it's not often. I mean, look, okay, fine. But no, Jack McGlynn, man, I think that's just one that I look at like I like what we see. He may not be a starter come 2026. But he's going to be the guy coming off the bench at 60 minutes. He's going to be the guy for sure coming in.
And this is someone that's obviously watching Jack McGlynn right now, being that he plays for the Houston Dynamo. The dude only scores bangers, by the way. As a matter of fact, when he was with the U.S. men's national team, scored a banger. So I mean, that's all that kid does. Outside the box, give it to him. I think he's going to be the last name in 2026. Yeah. I think it's going to come down to between him and Berhalter. No offense to Berhalter, but I just don't think he's there yet. And if I had to take my chances, a Berhalter versus McGlynn, maybe you can argue can be kind of a similar player. But I think McGlynn's ability on the wing, but on top of that, his natural position is actually center mid. So and you kind of say Foden. It's a good comparison, by the way, because Foden center mid but plays on the wing. Some people may forget that, but yeah, I think that just because especially with fringe players, if you can only play one position, like what use do you have as a fringe player? When the bench is going to be very important, and if you can get guys that could play in other positions, I think that's going to be important. I think McGlynn and I think Poch is very much liking what he's seeing from McGlynn. I mean, he wouldn't call him up if he didn't think so. So I think McGlynn's a great shout. That's especially for me personally. Watching him play it's the one thing I enjoy as a Dynamo fan right now. So
honestly, I forget he plays for Houston every time I talk about him with you, and then it's like, oh yeah, I forget he's a Dynamo until I say it. And then you're like, oh yeah.
Philadelphia Union Academy player, and then Philadelphia.
Talk about just a random thought, by the way. Talk about an academy that's turning out quality potential future U.S. men's national teams players.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Aronson brothers. You have McGlynn.
You had Letou there for a while.
Which one?
Granted, he wasn't U.S. men's national team. Sebastian Letou.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, that's a callback to the beginning days of the Philadelphia Union being around. But yeah,
Philadelphia has definitely been one of those teams that have taken pride in their. I mean, Kevin Sullivan right now.
Both Sullivan brothers.
Sullivan brothers. Quinn did get a call up with the U.S. men's national team, so that is a good shout. But yeah, negatively, I'm okay. Well, I already said what I said about Tristan Blackman, so I'm not going to pick on him again. But Harriel, what are we doing with this guy? Like, speaking of Philadelphia Union guys, but look, he didn't have a good showing in his first match in the Gold Cup. That's the reason why we moved on from him, and I believe it was Freeman that we started after that, and we never looked back. Or it might have been Arfson. I don't remember. But
it was both. I mean, between the two of them, they did a great job filling in.
I just want to point this out. Arfson, a lot of people want to take some shots at Arfson. He's a winger playing left back for the U.S. men's national team because he's actually a winger for Columbus Crew. And he comes in and plays left back. I applaud him. I know that defensively he's probably nowhere near ready, but I think what he provides in the attack. And once again, one thing that I think I talked about Arson, even though like I said, I get why people bash. His recovery, his ability to redeem himself, is something that's worth noting. I understand why Poch calls him up because yes, he gave up a dumb goal. I forgot what Gold Cup match that was. But then responded by scoring a goal. Many players that especially you're talking about Arson who is trying to earn a spot in the World Cup roster, and he just made a huge mistake, leads to a goal, and for most players, especially at his actually I don't think he's very young, but I know young to me, but
oh yeah, I mean yeah, me too.
But maybe 24, 23, somewhere around there.
I think that's about right. I think he's 25. Oh, no, 24. 24 years old, yeah.
Look at that. Now I'm on.
He's born in 2001. So, honestly, that's a young kid to me.
Yeah, he's definitely young. I'm not taking it away. But, for most young players, when that happens, your body language is off, and he was just like, all right, I screwed up. My bad. Now let me make this right. And he did. He made it right. I believe that game alone, he also got an assist, I think, as well. So
yeah, a goal and assist, yep.
So I mean, yes, he responded as well as he could, and I think that's like I said, is he my top player off the list? No, and we know that once Anthony Robinson is fully healthy, that left side is going to be very much occupied. But once again, as a fringe player, and you already mentioned it, can play on the wing and play left back, and so but we already have clear better options on the fullback spot, especially when I just said so. Nathaniel Harriel, yeah, I think I've seen enough of him. I don't think I need to see more of Nathaniel Harriel, especially if we do end up using this 3 in the back system. I definitely trust Arfston more than I would trust Nathaniel Harriel.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah, Harriel he wasn't on my I put it as a dump list, is my negative players. Blackman being one of them. Harriel wasn't, but he was an honorable mention. And then I have one that's probably going to be a hot take, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Tim Ream needs to be phased out from the starting center back position, especially if we're going to go in this 3-back system.
I question a lot of things with what Poch did with this call up, and one of them is just how you don't call up Mark McKenzie, you don't call up CCV, you don't call Austin Trusty. These guys are in fact playing, and that was the thing that I'm even shocked that Walker Zimmerman didn't get called up.
Anything. Look, it's like watching Tim Ream is like watching somebody work in slow motion. You mentioned Anthony Robinson. Once Jedi's back and healthy and good to go, he makes Tim Ream work. That's what makes Tim Ream so good, is having him on one side and Chris Richards on the other. It allows Ream to react at his pace and use his head the way he's supposed to. Anybody who remembers Matt Beasler, as a center back for the U.S. men's national team knows what I'm talking about. That's exactly how Beasler worked and how he operated well, is he had a partner that he could react with, that he could be a little slower because he wasn't the first to attack. He'd be the second to attack and pick up the loose ball. And that's what Ream does well. Asking Ream in a 3-back to be a guy who is a first contact defender is never a great conversation. You have Chris Richards, who is going to be your safety net when somebody beats anybody, which is great. But I need somebody else. I can't just rely on Chris Richards, who is a fantastic player in his own right. I can't just rely on him, though. I need somebody else back there. And Tim Ream, to me, it's just not the answer right now. We need to find it.
I get that part. I think I'm not really against Tim Ream, only because I think at this point the man has very good IQ off the bench.
Absolutely.
off the bench, I would definitely prefer him.
100%.
And I mean, you're kind of saying that by saying phasing out. Tristan Blackman was such a head scratcher decision for me, like especially when you once again Mark McKenzie, who wasn't in a new club, he was just back at the same old club. I mean, yes, did he lose 4-2 against PSG, but that's also PSG. So
oh no, I lost to PSG. How sad.
Also, I'm pretty sure it's not entirely his fault that they lost 4-2. So I think but getting regular minutes in Toulouse. You have Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty. Cameron Carter-Vickers is essentially the defense of Celtic. So I mean, and I don't know about you. I mean, yes, it's so early, but they are looking pretty good. So
I've said CCV needs to be in the conversation for the last 2 cycles, and this is his last real chance, really.
I think the real issue is just that we need to figure out who's going to be our back 2 or our back 3 now. Now that's a potential option. And we need to be that solidified. I wanted to see Noah Kai Banks.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him. Obviously after what we heard from the practices that they're like, oh, I've never seen a kid like this before. You can't just say that and then not put the kid on the field. That's like if freaking some guy from the Bulls just watching Michael Jordan play and just like, yeah, I've never seen a guy like this before, and just you bench, he's
and you never see him.
You never see him. I'm also not trying to compare Nokai Banks to Michael Jordan, but this kid obviously going through the ranks in Augsburg, playing for Augsburg at a very young age, chose us over Germany. That's crazy. Try to do that with Nathaniel Brown. But yeah, if the kid's good, he's athletic, which if you talk about a back 3, kind of important. So I would love to, especially with his ability on the ball, because I have watched him at Augsburg for a center back, really good ball control, and so I would definitely like to see him. And we just need to cap tie him. We need to cap tie him.
Give me 3. That's all I need from him. Give me a 2. Give me 2 call ups, and that's all. That's all I need from him. I need to see 2 call ups.
Cap time. So then if he wants to leave, he has to do the one-time switch to Germany. That's all we need. That's just cap time. Just secure him so he can't leave. Except for one more time.
Yeah. No, I need it. I need something new. I need new life in the back right now. And I like Tim Ream. Like you said, he has a great IQ. But there's so many different options that are young, talented players that we think can do it, but we've never given them a chance. Like Chris Richards was a guy we thought could do it for 5 years. And then they were finally like, all right, you know what? We have no other choice. You're going to play. And look what's happening. He's doing great. Same thing happened with Gooch back in the day. The same thing happened with Jay Demerit. I won't say that.
They hold on to their center back pairings for so long. I don't know how long we watched Tim Ream and Miles Robinson in the back line.
And Miles, up until injuries took hold, Miles was a great option. I think him and Chris in the back would have been great to see. But injuries took hold of Miles' career, and that just ruins that. But I think we're at the point where if we're going to run a 3-back, which looks to be the best option for Poch right now, given the talent around where the U.S. is, you got to figure out, Chris is going to be the middle. Who's going to be the 2 outside of him? Mm-hmm. Because those are the questions. You need some athletes. You need guys that are going to be strong defending, and you also need them to be strong in the air there. You can't have a Tim Ream there I know he is a really, really smart player, but he's not great in the air anymore. He's not great at reading and reacting to a play first. And we're at the World Cup level, we can't be second. You're second, you're a red card, especially as a defender. And that's not going to be great for the U.S. And I don't think Tim Ream has ever had a red card for the U.S. men's national team, but the first time happening in a World Cup would be the worst moment of any player's career. And I don't want to see that for a guy who's held it down in some of the weakest moments for center backs for the U.S. I need options here is really what I'm at. Pochettino, I need some options at the end of the day. I can't just rely on Tim Ream, who I do love, but he can be a second, third, fourth option. I need a number 1 option that's there. Yeah,
for sure. I'm going to add one more negative player, and he wasn't called up, but I am just going to point it out. Matt Turner. I think you're done, buddy. I honestly, for as long as I think it went to where after Zach, whatever happened with Zach Steffen, where he just I know he was going through a lot of things with Man City, and then when he went on loan and all that. So I'm not trying to take jabs at that part, but obviously just never looked the same And I mean, yes, he's definitely getting a lot better in Colorado, but he's still not the same keeper that left Columbus to go to Man City is what I'm trying to get at. And then Matt Turner comes in, and there's things about his game that I've always respected. Obviously, him taking pride of being just a pure shot stopper is very commendable, and I don't want to take that away from him. And I think he got too comfortable, knowing that he was a safe pick, to the point where he can go to Arsenal and just be a backup and maybe play a few Carabao Cup and a few FA Cup games. And then when it came down to him now having to leave Arsenal, it just hasn't been good since. Him going to Nottingham Forest, didn't play. Went to Crystal Palace, didn't really play. And to the point where he needed to find a club where he's going to play. And you think you got it when you go to Lyon, who's in a crazy situation. Obviously didn't happen. He ends up getting, he is a Lyon player. He's just loaned out
to the MLS,
to New England Revolution, in order for Olympique Lyon to be good on the books.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was funny. And which, by the way, last time I checked, obviously the matchup that they're about to have, they could lose, but Olympique Lyon is currently at the time 3-0. So just want to point that out. So they didn't really need Matt Turner, apparently. But yeah, I just think more and more his stock just keeps dropping. And when it definitely dropped when Matt Freese became the starting goalkeeper for the Gold Cup. And since then, Matt Freese, not perfect. I don't want to,
but
on maybe with his foot, not the most majestic player on his foot, but pure shot stopper. I don't know about giving him the good on penalty kicks. That's what I'll say. He's good on penalty kicks. I don't want to say, penalty kick master or expert, because it's really just a guessing game. But
it is. As a goalkeeper, you're lucky.
Yeah, it's a combination of luck and just, I can't believe he shot it like that. So,
it's fine lines.
And once again, the thing is, it's the funny thing. Even though Matt Freese, everything's positive for him right now. I mean, I don't think that the career loss was on him, and obviously puts out a clean sheet with the help of defense. Puts out a clean sheet against Japan, a B team, but still did rotated Japan. I just want so people don't try to keep oh guys, you guys are overreacting. But his stock keeps rising. And that's the thing. Schulte gets hurt. Who would have thought that the person that would be the benefactor of that would be Matt Freese? And New York City fans been trying to tell us. They've been trying to tell us about Matt Freese, and I guess now we're finally listening.
I'm still not listening, but
okay.
I get it. Yeah, no, actually,
you're a Gaga guy. You're a Gaga guy.
I am a Gaga Slanina guy. I think he has the best opportunity long term to be the U.S. men's national team keeper. But I think right now Matt Freese is having his moment, and I don't want to take that away from the guy because I think he is absolutely figuring it out on the job. And I think in times as a goalkeeper, you have to do that, especially when you step up in talent the way he has. New York City FC it's a city program. Okay, great. That doesn't mean you're going up against world-class athletes while you're in, MLS training camp. It doesn't mean that. But when you step onto the international stage and he's doing what he's doing, it's hard to say he's not taking the challenge in stride, because he is doing well. And there's moments, yes, like all young keepers who are very athletic. He's a very athletic keeper. He's learning how to play with his feet. And this is a lot of American keepers. They have to learn how to play with their feet, especially when they're in the MLS first and then they come out of the MLS. He has to learn that. And it's a talent that he has to learn on the fly, because that's what Pochettino's team and strategy requires. And it's not something he's necessarily been comfortable with, but he also doesn't look the most uncomfortable person in the world. It's just it's sloppy, but as a keeper, I don't want Manuel Neuer every time. Don't get me wrong, I love Manuel Neuer, but I don't need that from my keeper. I got 10 other guys on the pitch that can take care of that for me. I need one guy who, at the end of the day, I can trust to stop more shots than he's going to allow in. And at the end of the day, that's what Matt Freese is doing right now. He is not necessarily a wall. He's not the wall of the Wasatch like Nick Armando, but he's building a wall back there, and it's pretty fun to watch at times where I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. Now, I don't think he's a long-term option, but where we're sitting at today, September in 2025, 9 months out from the World Cup, I feel comfortable saying that he could be our day one starter when the World Cup comes around. I wish it would be Gaga Slanino, but I can't guarantee that he'll be ready in time. Mm-hmm. And I think Matt Freese, to me, is a comfortable option. He's very much the Bill Hamid option, if you will, for American-style keepers. Like, he's like, all right, I can live with this. I'm not going to love it. I'm not going to say it's my number one pick, but I can live with this for now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we're at. This is kind of a weird low class for the U.S. keepers. I think what you've seen come through America when it came to teaching keepers is a very weird situation where you're seeing a lot more European influence, which I've stood by many times. I think European-style keeping is not the best for the way American kids are taught how to play soccer. And I think that's what we're seeing, like that generation come up where it's like a little too much of the European influence, like the kick saves and things like that. Kids in America learn playing baseball. Mm-hmm. Like, let them use their hands. At the end of the day, they're going to be better. That's what made Matt Turner so good at being a shot stopper. But that's also what kept Matt Turner from progressing any further, was because he couldn't learn that. And I think Matt Freese is learning that on the job. And that's the difference between Turner and Freese, is you have Freese actually learning it. Turner he just couldn't get it soon enough.
Yeah, I think at that point he was resting too much on his laurels. But if from this call up, who do you want to see come October?
Zendejas for sure. Serginho Dest, the other one for sure. I need to see those two, and I need to see Alex Freeman. I need to see those three in camp again, because Dest, one, needs to get healthy. Two, Zendejas, I need to see continuation of this talent. I need him to mesh, because supposedly October is supposed to be a more consistent lineup towards what we're going to see in the World Cup.
That was a good thing to point out, because I did want to point that out as well. That Poch did say that would be more closer to our World Cup roster if everything's healthy.
I think Freeman is a guy, I think, like you mentioned, we talked about earlier, as far as a guy, the last guy on the roster, I think Freeman has a chance to be the last guy on the roster, like McGlynn. Like, those two, I think, are battling it out for those last three spots really on a roster where I think they can make an impact. And I want to see all three on the pitch again, but with the ones, it sounds bad saying the ones, but with what we presume to be the starters come 2026. Like, I need to see that again from those guys.
Yeah, I think you said some good ones. I'll add Noah Kai Banks to that list as well. Mm-hmm. We need to see more of that kid. I think that his stock dropped a little bit, and I think it was obvious because he's not going to be a starter. But like, once again, off the bench, I think will be where his role is going to be. But I do want Diego Luna to come back. I do want to see more from him. I want to see him with that actual U.S. men's national team squad to see where his role would be for the team. To me, that's going to be very important. So those are the two guys I want to add on top of Alex. I completely agree with Alex Freeman. I like everything that he does. Defensively and attack-wise, I think he does do things really well. And it's kind of funny with his physicality. With that back three, you could just put him in that back three.
Yeah.
And so, with that pace, I mean, his dad is a Green Bay Packers legend for crying out loud. So,
yeah.
Also, shout out to his dad for not you got to play football soon. So.
Yeah, seriously, allow your kids to play whatever sport they want to play. Don't force them to do anything. Yeah. Stand by your son, whatever, or son or daughter, whatever they choose to do.
All right. Who are you like? You know what? I've seen enough.
I don't think I need to harp on this one anymore. I think we've said his name 1,001 times with the negatives, Tristan Blackman. Mm-hmm. But then I'm going to just throw it out there. I don't think I need to see Josh Archer anymore. I think we're at that point with him right now. He's not the striker I need to see work with the starters. I need to see more Balogun. I need to see more, hopefully, Ricardo Pepi come October. And I really, honestly need to see Damian Downs. I need to know. I need to know what type of quantity I had with Damian Downs. So Sargent to me is the guy I don't need out with Blackman as well.
Okay. Dang, this is going to be kind of tricky because I'm trying to think of who. I think we said all the names, but unfortunately, most of them are all defensive players.
Yeah.
You know, I think because I need to see Haji Wright back on this team because of what he provides as a winger and also could play up top is important. And I think you saw a little bit of a connection with him and Damian Downs. I think that's a good shot that you mentioned Damian Downs a little bit more. I think I know at this point what Sebastian Berhalter is all about. He's not a bad player. I know he's a very important player to the Vancouver Whitecaps. But I mean, we're also you know as me and Kelcey never once mentioned Brian White, and I know he's killing it in MLS right now. Once again, with Vancouver Whitecaps, who are doing really good in MLS right now. People are throwing MLS Cup contender, by the way, when you talk about that team. And I know that Berhalter is important. I know that Blackman is important. I know that also, once again, Brian White are important pieces. But with this U.S. men's national team, there's just guys that I would argue provide a certain thing. Like, I don't need another Greg Berhalter because you have a Yunus Musa. You have a Weston McKennie.
You have a Tyler Adams.
And a Tyler Adams. And also, by the way, if anybody was trying to tell us that we need to not see Tyler Adams anymore, if you watch Bournemouth, Tyler Adams is great as your 6, as the guy that's just there to be physical, get the ball back, pass it to the guy that knows what to do with the ball to get the ball back and play on the attacking side. And unfortunately, paired off with Sebastian Berhalter, we didn't see that. Paired off with Christian Roldan. Don't need to see any more Christian Roldan. I think we need to just let him hang out in Seattle. Let him lift the Leagues Cup.
You know what's okay? I actually have a very weird feeling about Roldan. I do think he's also in competition for those last 3 spots on the roster, and I think he's like Kyle Beckerman of this roster, where
I agree. I know what you're saying.
He's not a starter. He's never gonna be a starter for this team, but
he's going to find a way.
But he's got energy. He's got the snap. And this is also where I see Sebastian Berhalter in this conversation as well. Just to be fair to him, I think he has the attitude, just like Roldan, where they can come off the bench and be feisty, make the moves, connect. Like they can connect things when people are already tired. But it's like from the go, I don't like either of them on this roster. But 60th, 65th, 70th minute, I don't hate the idea. But unfortunately, I feel like they're the Kyle Beckerman conversation here, where maybe they don't get any time. Maybe it's the 3rd game of the group stage when the U.S. has hopefully already clinched. That's when they get time. But I just they're that weird spot for me.
The problem with Tyler Adams, like I said, he's just there to get the ball back. Once he gets the ball back, he shouldn't keep the ball any longer. He needs to get the ball to Yunus Musa, get the ball to Sergiño Dest, get the ball to somebody that can make the ball move for a benefit. And so
be Sergio Busquets. Don't be afraid to be Sergio Busquets.
Yeah. Also, Sergio Busquets also has pretty good ball vision, but
be early Sergio Busquets. Don't be old man Sergio Busquets who plays like Andrea Pirlo.
Yeah. So, there's nothing wrong with what I said. Tyler Adams is very much a destroyer. That is a perfect role for him. He does it very beautifully. That is why he is a valued player at Bournemouth. So no, I'm not knocking him for him because once again, you need guys that can play that physicality. When he can play and just focus on that physicality, he's great. That's why he's our captain. He does the dirty work for us and that's what captains do. And everyone's gonna be like, why are you saying? I've been saying Tyler Adams is our captain. I've said it plenty of times on this show. Christian Pulisic, just because he's our best player, doesn't mean he needs to be wearing the captain's armband.
Amen.
Tyler Adams, one, he's professional. Nothing, he's very good at just not saying anything stupid to a press conference. 3, he doesn't have a docuseries, so that's also a win on my boat. So that's not a captain thing to do. Like I said, I just want to move away from the drama. I don't want any more drama anymore. Can we just move on? And Mark Pulisic, just chill, bro. Just chill.
Just honestly, this is one where you just shut up if you're Pulisic. If you're not Papa Pulisic, not you, Christian. Christian's fine. Papa Pulisic.
Again, let the ball do the talking for you. Just keep letting the ball do the talking.
No, I'm glad you brought up Tyler Adams. I think it's worth mentioning. The guy isn't a bad player for the U.S. He's a pure 6, and I love a pure 6. I need a pure 6. And for those that don't understand what a 6 is, a 6 isn't a double hinge player. They're a purely defensive, protecting player. That's it. Berhalter tried to put him in that weird role where he would play outside back defensively and then slide in the midfield attackingly. I hated that. That is the dumbest thing you can do to a player like Tyler Adams, because you're asking him, a guy who uses his energy and strength to outsmart and outmaneuver the attacking players, to then use all of that energy attacking as well. It just doesn't work for what the U.S. was trying to do. And you have enough attacking talent, especially when everybody's healthy. You have a Timothy Weah, you have a Weston McKennie, you have a Christian Pulisic. You have these guys attacking and they're healthy. You don't need Tyler Adams to be you need Tyler Adams to shuffle the ball back around when everything breaks down around the box. That's fine. But he shouldn't be the guy in the box ever. He should be 30 yards, 40 yards away from goal, taking the ball, passing it around, switching the point of attack. That's fine. I don't need to see this guy ever attacking. I need to see him defensively just be that guy, because he is that guy. When he's a dog. I love him. I love him for it. And if the Tim Ream is going to be on the pitch, I especially need a Tyler Adams in front of him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an important thing. Whether Tim Ream's there or not, I still would prefer a Tyler Adams there. But especially if you're going to play Tim Ream, which seems like the odds-on favorite to happen there, you need a Tyler Adams. You need that dog in front of him that's just going to make every one of those tackles.
Exactly. But all right, to put this all in a pretty little bow, how would you grade the September call-up?
If I just want to talk wins and losses, I think is a C. But I think if we're talking about building to 26, which is what Pochettino has preached, I actually think this was a positive window overall. I do think this was probably an A- window if I'm giving it a grade as far as how I felt about progressing to 26. I got answers in certain places. Now, does Pochettino listen to those answers? I don't know yet, but it feels like we got answers towards what formation is going to be our best attacking formation, who's our starting goalkeeper, who is our number one linchpin in the center of a three-man back. It's Chris Richards now. How good is Tyler Adams going to be, and is Serginho Dest ready? Those all were answered to me. And you also found out, is Josh Sargent ready to go in the U.S. colors? It doesn't seem like it yet, which sucks, but it's just the truth. So I think those 6 questions have been answered, and I think after that, now you got to figure out the depth. And I think that's the next step in getting the starters together and getting the chemistry built. But this is probably the most effective in the 2-game window we've seen in Pochettino's era so far as figuring out answers.
Yeah, I like your answer. I'm going to stick with a C. Just because I will say I do, in some aspect, feel like we wasted a call-up in some retrospect. Did we really need to see a little bit more of Nathaniel Harriel? Did we really need to know what Tristan Blackman could bring to the table? There's certain moves that, I just wish Pochettino could at least explain himself a little bit better. He's also very inconsistent when he explained certain things. I understand Yunus Musa just moved to Atalanta. I get why you want to give him an adjustment period. I get why, Ricardo Pepi just recovered from an injury. I'm fine. Those all things are all fine and dandy. His injury timetable is a whole lot different than Serginho Dest's injury timeline table, because he was actually good to be training in the summer, whereas Ricardo Pepi was still not able to do that. So I get there's certain players why they were not called up that I understand, but then when you have guys like Mark McKenzie, the center backs to me was the most egregious, because you had Mark McKenzie, you had Cameron Carter-Vickers, who last time I checked are still in the same clothes they've been in this whole time. So that was the moves that baffled me, and even the people that are tinfoil has that this was an MLS call up. I don't necessarily see the logic there, because if you looked at the starting lineups, it was a good mixture of Europe and MLS. So yeah, but I will say though, there was some positives, and even when me and Aaron were looking at the call up, there is a lineup here. There's not a bad it's not like this call up was so bad that you don't even know who's starting. You knew who was going to start. You knew you were going to see Christian Pulisic, Captain America. I thought it was weird that you benched Sergino Dest, but that could just be a preventative measure just because, once again, the man had a torn ACL. But aside from that, I think that's why I give it a C. I think the performances weren't that great. Obviously the Japan win helps a little bit. But I think, once again, it's just me feeling like we just wasted a call-up, especially when we're going into a World Cup year.
Yeah, I think this is, to me, why I don't mind this call-up as much is it's 9 months out. Realistically, when you look at the upcoming schedule for the U.S. men's national team, you have 3 more windows that you can expect to see players. 2 more windows this calendar year. Then you have, I believe, 5 windows prior to training camp next year before the World Cup. Those 5 windows, I need to see something solid, which means for these next 2 windows, I needed to see actual question marks answered. And I don't mean question marks for solidifying those final teams. I need question marks for crossing off somebody off my list, which is why I don't hate the Blackman first game. I don't like the Blackman second game, though. I don't need to see him twice. I don't need to see Harriel twice. But I guess maybe you had questions. I guess. I'm also trying to really be nice here and hope for the best, because I'm trying to be a positive fan for once and not be a hating fan like I normally am. But I'll be honest, it is hard looking at this window and not thinking we wasted something. But I do think solidifying Matt Freese was a huge win. Mm-hmm. I do think that's a huge win, and proving how important Diego Luna could be to the team. I think that's also been a proven positive as well, and that's one I didn't mention earlier. But it's just he's proven himself long enough now. He needs to be in the roster next year, given he's healthy, and I think that's a big piece. I do hate some of the call-ups, but I can't say I didn't expect this to happen at least once or twice more from post Gold Cup to pre-2026 January. I needed some shaking it up just to figure out some of these other pieces, because I think he's got 40 names, and after this call-up, he's got 35 names to work through, which is a good progression. Mm-hmm. But, man, I need this to be closer to 25 already. I guess 30 right now is where they're at, is where I'd prefer it to be. But I could live with 35 for now.
Yeah, I agree. You made a really good point. But, yeah, man, that's the U.S. men's national team. We'll see what happens come October. I think that another interesting group of friendlies. I believe is it. Let me look up the matchups before I just say names and y'all like, oh, we're playing them. So don't want to do that to myself. I've lied enough already.
Ecuador and Australia.
Yeah, it's Ecuador and Australia. So Ecuador definitely an interesting matchup just because of where their uprising has been going lately. And then obviously Australia, definitely a team that we potentially could be seeing in the World Cup. So,
yeah, I think it's interesting to me. I look at Ecuador as that needs to be our best possible roster at this point in time. I don't need to see Ecuador to me. I don't need to see experiments. Australia, though, I am curious to see experiments in Australia's matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing a Taylor Booth moment. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing that type of a player come up in Australia. But Ecuador, I need to see the starters. I need to see Balogun out there. I need to see Pulisic. I need to see Weston McKennie. I need to see if Timothy Weah is healthy. Timothy Weah. I need those guys out there because that to me is a measuring stick game. That Ecuador game.
No, yeah, and I think that you made a good point. I think that we're gonna keep seeing that trend because I think that's what we saw with this one with South Korea. We saw his ideal starting 11, which I hope we never see Tristan Blackman again. And then the second one was kind of the rotated squad, even though you still included Christian Pulisic, you still included guys you would expect to play, but still you rotated some guys out. And I think that's going to be the theme with Pochettino. But once again, also I have no idea what Pochettino's going to do. So
he's a wild card, man.
It's really hard to predict this man at this point. For all I know, Ajaman, we're gonna see Ajaman and whoever else we didn't like.
Ajaman and Haji Wright out there.
That would be interesting.
That would be a crazy combo.
That would be interesting. I would actually be against it. But
with
all
Malik
right,
Tillman.
Yeah, we do need to see Malik Tillman. But all right, Kelcey. Obviously, it's always a pleasure to have you on and talk footy. Maybe next time we don't talk about U.S. men's national team. We talk about something else to make you feel a little bit better. But
yeah, maybe it won't be so hate-filled next time.
Yeah, maybe. But then again,
It is football, man. It is what it is.
it is what it is, man. But yeah, man, tell the good people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Hilo Sports. I'm with my co-host DJ. We go live Wednesday on our social media channels at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then you can catch our video over on the Belly Up YouTube page at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. You can also catch our audio on any platform that you choose to listen to, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any other platform. And social media at Hilo Sports, X at high_low_sports, because that's the only one that we have to be different on. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, thank you so much, Kelcey. And honestly, right now, I have no idea what the format of this episode is going to look like. So I don't know what's going to come up, but it's going to be some sort of maybe Players of the Week. It might just be Players of the Week. So you don't know, or maybe it's going to be me and Edward talking. I don't know. I really don't know. I still haven't figured this out. But yeah, get ready for that. Get ready for whatever that is. So. But we'll take a break, so enjoy at least the break.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
All right, guys, I want to thank Kelcey for coming on to talk about the U.S. men's national team. Really interesting topic. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out High-Low Sports. Check out High-Low Sports with DJ and Kelcey. We're obviously, this isn't going to be just the last time you're going to see Kelcey. Kelcey's always going to be very much a regular to this show. But now that reminds me, I need to get Jose in here at some point, because we also love having him on as well. But all right, Players of the Week. Players of the Week is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an awesome ticketing site. It is very convenient to us. We use it very frequently to attend to all our live sporting events and some concerts as well. We love the simplicity of SeatGeek, and we recommend you guys try it as well. It is a very simple system. If you guys have it, you just look at the app or the website, however you use it. If you scroll through it, you're going to see colors and numbers. If it's super red and the number is super low, that means those tickets for that price, that seat for this event is not worth it. Keep scrolling. You're going to find a better deal. And when it's very green and very high, green and high, that's a pretty good combination if you think about it. That means for that seat, for that event, for that price, that's a great deal. Go ahead and enjoy your event. Now, if you're not sold, and I totally get it, if you're not sold on it just yet, for first-time users, if you guys use the code BellyUpSports, you'll save $20 off your first purchase. Once again, use that code BellyUpSports. First-time users get $20 off. Certain restrictions are applied. So, with all that being said, man, we love SeatGeek. You guys should love it too. Use that code BellyUpSports for first-time users. Save $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. SeatGeek, life's an event. We have the tickets. All right, my player of the week is Alex Grimaldo, who scored 2 goals in Bayer Leverkusen's 3-1 win against Eintracht Frankfurt. They were down to 9 men. 9 men. They were down to 9 men. And Alex Grimaldo, both goals off a free kick. The man is him. He stayed put with Leverkusen, and post Eric Ten Hag era after 2 matches, Leverkusen gets their first win of the season, first 3 points of the season, after moving on from Eric Ten Hag. So, hey, yes, they're free kicks, but guess what? It is not only did he score 1 free kick goal, but he scored 2. That is, to me, phenomenal. So, Alex Grimaldo is my player of the week. Edwards player of the week, and not surprise, but just a name that we're just constantly having to say. It is Harry Kane, who scored 2 goals and assists in Bayern Munich's 5-0 victory against Hamburger. So, is Harry Kane going to be the name we call out on December for our Player of the Year award? I don't know. Maybe there must be something about Bayern Munich players. But it is looking pretty good on Harry Kane's part. So, congratulations to Alex Grimaldo and Harry Kane for being our Players of the Week. Once again, guys, for first-time users, use SeatGeek. Use that code BellyUpSports and save yourselves $20 off your first purchase. All right, guys, we do have some games coming up this weekend, and we want you to make sure that you guys know about these matches. We're going to kick things off in Mexico. Monterrey taking on Club America. America needs a bounce back after losing El Superclásico this past weekend. Maybe maybe not the great day for Guadalajara, knowing that Canelo finally lost and LA lost to an American in Crawford, but Chivas de Guadalajara did in fact upset Globo America, so that was at least a good consolation prize. Same night too, but Monterrey, Monterrey right now is the best team right now in Liga MX. How do they respond against that giant? We'll see what happens. Sergio Ramos and the boys in Monterrey taking on Globo America. It's gonna be a juicy one. Make sure you guys watch it. We got Austin FC taking on the Seattle Sounders in the MLS. Also in the MLS, we got LAFC taking on Real Salt Lake. A lot of teams in the playoff discussion. We'll see how that shakes up in the playoff world, especially in the Western Conference. And in the Netherlands, we got PSV Eindhoven taking on Ajax in the Netherlands. PSV has now been a dominant force in the Eredivisie. Does that continue? Can Ajax reclaim their spot in the Eredivisie? We'll see about that. In Ligue 1, I got you some 3 games. I got 3 games here. You're probably gonna understand why. We got Lyon taking on Angers. Lyon did suffer their first loss. We'll see how they respond to a team that just got promoted in Angers. We also have Brest versus Nice. Obviously, this is obvious why we're going to mention this one. Brest versus Nice. I'm not gonna say it, but you guys know why. Just look at the scoreboard bug. And then Le Classique, Olympique Marseille taking on PSG. Usually a juicy matchup there. First time we ever highlighted this match, it ended in a brawl. So can it happen again? We'll see. I mean, it's a very intense matchup, so we'll see how that goes. In the Bundesliga, we got Hoffenheim taking on Bayern Munich, a very interesting matchup. Hoffenheim does seem to be kind of a pest to Bayern Munich. And Bayer Leverkusen taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach. Bayer Leverkusen got their first win of the season. Can Borussia Mönchengladbach get their first win of the season? We'll see what happens. In the Serie A, we got Udinese taking on AC Milan. AC Milan coming off of a massive victory from a massive goal from Luka Modric. So can they continue their form in the Serie A? And Inter Milan, who's coming off of a devastating loss to Juventus, can they get back on the winning column as they take on Sassuolo in the Serie A? In La Liga, we got Real Madrid versus that pesky team, Espanyol. Can Real Madrid put up? I mean, they already had to go against that pesky Real Sociedad. Can they do it again against Espanyol? We'll see what happens, man. Barcelona taking on Getafe as well. Another pain in many sides in La Liga. We'll see how Barcelona performs. Can we see Lamine Yamal back on the field? That'll be an interesting one. You already heard what me and Edward said about that. So yeah, let's not get this kid hooked on painkillers. That's all I'm saying. In the Premier League, we got 3 matches as well. I'm going to highlight. We're going to mention the Meyerside Derby, Liverpool versus Everton, a juicy local derby. I understand maybe, but this is not last year's Everton though. There's got some flair on it. They got our king Jack Grealish in the mix now. Can we see a different Everton going into this match against Liverpool? We will find out. It's going to be a juicy one, so make sure you be ready for that one. We also got Manchester United taking on Chelsea. Manchester United just getting pummeled by Manchester City. I apologize that I did not come up with a funny graphic for that because that was also a singing bet. Not a singing bet, a jersey bet. But Manchester United taking on Chelsea. Do we see Manchester United bounce back against a pretty bitter rival in Chelsea? We'll see what happens there. And the third one is because it is a jersey bet matchup. It is Arsenal taking on Manchester City. So now this week it's going to be me versus Spencer. Both of us have wins on our records right now. And can one of us get the better over the other? We will find out in this weekend. So obviously it's not all the matches, but if you guys need a good beginner's guide, I think we got you guys some good matches to look forward to. So we're going to go ahead and take a break and then go right into wrapping this show up in a pretty little bow for you. Take care.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at BellyUpSports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
I have no idea why I said take care at the end. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to episode 230. I want to give a shout out to Kelcey Coin of High Low Sports. Make sure you guys give him some love over there at High Low Sports. High_low_sports on the X and High Low Sports on the gram. So go ahead and check them out there. Also check out their YouTube channel. And also remember, their full episodes are also available on BellyUpSports YouTube channel, which leads me right into BellyUpSports. Check out their website, BellyUpSports.com. Lots of awesome articles being constantly written right now. NFL seasons is very much underway. Is ongoing. We got college football happening. Somehow I am on top of these pick'em things. Don't know how that happened, but here we are. MLB is near the tail end of their season. And then of course there's going to be soccer, guys. There's going to be soccer. Go and check it out. BellyUpSports.com. Follow them on social media on the X and IG at BellyUpSports, at BellyUpSports, the World Sports Bar, the Internet Sports Bar, man. Make sure you guys go ahead and give them some love. And then GolzTV, man, GolzTV. It is an amazing platform streaming service that you guys can go and check out. It is free to create an account so you guys can see all the content that is in your reach when it comes to soccer content made here in the United States. Also some international creators as well. So if you guys want to see our full episodes, our videos as well, not only that, but you want to see Unleashed with Eric Winalda, you want to see Wake Up MLS, you want to see our lovable Barca boy, you want to see all the great content creators that are over there at GolzTV, man. Check them out, GolzTV. Follow them on the X at Goals_TV, GolZ_TV, and on Instagram at Goals.tv. Once again, GolZ.tv. So you guys can go and check it out, what's going on there as they're trying to make soccer cool in America. So go ahead and check that out. And of course, man, we can't talk about our episodes without the one, the only Roosevelt Spencer. He is we love him. We love him to death. He knows we love him to death. We say a lot of things about him. He knows how much we're prepared to risk it all for him. We love him so much that we named him. He is the namesake of the Roosevelt Spencer's Player of the Year award. He does so much for us, and we really appreciate him. And we want you guys to appreciate him too. That's by, if you guys love the beats, if you guys love our intros and outros to this podcast, it's Spencer. It's all Spencer, man. So if you guys need some beat work done, whether you're a musician, whether you're a podcaster, whether you're a YouTube creator, any of that stuff, look, man, copyright is just a bitch. Sorry for cousin Kelcey. It is just a pain in the ass. Sorry for cousin Kelcey. I understand it. Best way to avoid it is have your own original music. And that can be easily provided by our guy, Roosevelt Spencer. So, what are you waiting for? You guys want to deal with copyright or not deal with it? I'd rather choose not deal with it. So, if you guys agree with me, go hit him up at That Guy Dope on Instagram. At That Guy Dope on Instagram. Hit him up, show him some love, let him know, hey, the guys from Insert Name FC sent me over here. We want you to give us the beats. And he'll take great care of you like he always does with us. As we always say, who is that guy? And that is that guy, Roosevelt Spencer. So, thank you so much, guys, for listening to episode 230. Hope you guys had a lot of fun listening to me and Edward talk about our love for video games. And I hope you guys also enjoyed the perspective that me and Kelcey had on the U.S. men's national team. Once again, man, check us out on all social media platforms at Insert Name FC on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Give us some love up there. Obviously, we're always trying to grow. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on BellyUpSports. Help us grow this program so you guys can get this more in your life. So, especially if you guys love just idiots loving the sport of soccer, football, who cares? All that matters is that you love the game that it is. So, with all that being said, man, take care, guys. I love you.